What's up, faithful? What's up, faithful? What's up, faithful?
What's going on?
What's going on, Prez? What's going on?
Good evening.
What's up, Uncle Keith?
Holla, holla, holla. Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, man, I can hear you.
It's windy and I'm wondering.
Yeah, man. How you making out there in Florida, man?
My feet on the ground, my hat's on my head. Everything's good.
All right, cool, man, cool. And with that said, to all the residents that's out there in Florida, Faithful Huddle, we send y'all our thoughts, our prayers, and our concerns on all y'all conditions out there. We hope all is well, God willing. We're gonna get through this together with optimism. With that said, what's up, Prez?
Man, what's good, man? We outside.
Yeah, man, we outside, bro. We outside. Man, I'm happy to be back from my vacation out there in California. I had a great time out there. To our faithful viewers, welcome to our show. My name is Mark _faithful87. We are the Faithful Huddle. I'm gathered with my uncle above. He's out there in Florida. Again, I hope all is well, Uncle Keith, our general manager of the show, Prez. Hope all is well with you, bro.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. So,
likewise.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. So, guys, oh man, what a weekend! What a weekend! Sunday night was on national television against Denver Broncos. Sunday night football, a very interesting game. And I could also say it was a frustrating game if you was a 49ers fan, because I know I was frustrated within, I would say, the second half. In regards to the topic of our show, I think we're going through a crossroads regarding the Niner Empire. And the reason why I said that, I think that the frustrations is at an all-time high regarding the disappointment of the 49ers performance on Sunday night. With that said, I would like to know your thoughts and your comments regarding Sunday night's game. We're going to freestyle tonight, guys. To our faithful viewers, we're going to freestyle tonight. We're just going to go all in. We're going to speak our minds, and we're going to be honest based on what we know and what we seen that Sunday night. So, guys, what's up? Let's talk about it.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's an experience. I think it's telling. I think the first 2 weeks kind of led up to this, like as far as just overall disappointment record wise. I mean, not in the defense. So I mean, obviously we talking about the offense, because this defense right now is what some expected. You know what I'm saying? Doing better than what others expected and everything like that. But when it comes to offense, there's real problems that got to be addressed, and we got a rough game this week. It's at home, so hopefully the crowd and everything can kind of get us moving in the right direction, give us that boost. But offense got to come play football, man.
Yeah.
I say our season is not lost if we're willing to pay the cost. What we have happening to me, in my personal and humble opinion, is we're sugarcoating the obvious. We have issues with play calls. We have issues with execution. And it comes down to one big word to me: heart. Your coach got to have heart, and your players executing the plays got to have heart. We have players that have shown heart that are not getting to participate. I will say Mason needed to carry the ball more. Debo shouldn't have been your running back when you got 3 bruisers back there. You missed him wide open in the second quarter, which would have gave us a 2-touchdown lead and would have won the game no matter how many other mistakes we won, because Denver was feckless on offense. And we've been arguing all week and chitting and chatting about who's responsible. We all are. Offense, defense, coaching, it all is apathetic. And it's hard to watch with a team with this much talent. I want to break things up a minute for just one second. I want to tell you a quick joke. We're all friends. We love football, right?
Right.
And I have a friend of mine that I've known since I was 6 years old, Bobby. We play football in Pee Wee leagues. We played in Pop Warner. We played in high school. We even played some college football, but then we outgrew football. But we never stopped loving it. So as we got older and older and older, we'd sit and watch football games together. And Bobby said, listen, hey, whichever one of us goes to heaven, please football. I said, that's important. That's cool, man. I'll do that. Well, unfortunately, Bobby passed away.
Sorry to hear that, man.
And rather than at his funeral, I sat around in my living room mad as hell because after a week, Bobby hadn't come back and told me whether or not there was football in heaven. So I sat down and watched last week's game. And Bobby popped up out of nowhere. I said, what's up? What took you so long? He said, man, I'm here to tell you. I said, well, what is it? Is there football in heaven? He said, well, Keith, I got good news and I got bad news. I said, well, give me the good news. He said, Keith, there's football in heaven. I said, all right, what's the bad news? I asked him. You know what he said? You're out starting free safety next week. You get it?
Yeah.
That's how serious this is.
Yeah.
For real. We got to understand the basic principle of what we're doing is loving football. I love talking about football. I love being a fan. I love the whole game. I like to see what other teams are doing. I like to see what my favorite team is doing. And what I see my favorite team doing right now is not fit for consumption. Your turn. All right, Troy.
Yeah.
One time 4-9.
Come on.
Yeah.
What's going on?
What up, Beto?
Going on.
The Sickness Podcast. What's up, bro? Beto, I just want to let you know, bro, I received the patch in the mail yesterday. Thank you for the patch, bro. I appreciate you and I appreciate the gift, man. Thank you, bro. For the faithful.
Hey, all the stores are shut down because somebody sent some wine down to Florida.
Yeah, so yeah, man. I'm gonna piggyback on what our general manager said and what you said, Uncle Keith.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I believe we're all the blame regarding the team. Along with that, I gotta start with the head coach, and I gotta start with the position coach. Yes, it's their job. It's their job to prepare their players, and we gotta believe they have them prepared before a game is started. They have a game plan. I know this because I played football. Now, with that said, right, they have a game plan. Now, yes, before we started the show, my uncle Keith mentioned about trust. There has to be trust on both sides. However, any player that's on that field, the head coach and the position coach has trust on that player or players on the field. So with that said, you have a game plan, you have trust on the best athlete that's on the field. So my thing is this, and Uncle Keith, you just mentioned earlier about execution. At times or sometimes when your player that you have trust in that's on that field, 11 guys on offense and 11 guys on defense, if someone doesn't do their job and don't execute during a play that was already designed, like couple of days before the game, sometimes we're human beings. Sometimes we'll have that doubt or that lack of trust. Like, listen, you messed up on this play, or you messed up on that play, and sometimes that can get to you. And sometimes that might change your aggressive play calling to a conservative play calling. That's my humble opinion. I don't know if the faithful huddle agree with it or our faithful viewers. What's up, Uncle
I
Keith?
don't agree.
What's up? Would you know?
My challenge is this.
Mm-hmm.
There ain't no crying in football.
I agree.
Let's keep it 100.
Yes.
And if your running back comes out who's a rookie, gets one carry, gets 9 yards, he carries 2 safeties for the last 3, and you don't run him again, I got a problem with that. I got a problem if your quarterback has mud feet and can't move, and you scheme him to be protected by an offensive line that is weak.
Right.
You got to play to your team's ability, and you have to scheme that. We talked early this week about how the game is scripted. I respect that. The scripted plays that were in the first quarter worked amazing. It was flawless 49er football. Where we seem to lose it is when we're unscripted, because there's no flexibility in the play calling. You go back to what's old and faithful. How many times we going to run Debo, put him in the backfield, and not have the other team have somebody spying on him and break his ribs? Mm-hmm. All right, those plays did not work. When you had him out as a pure receiver, he was beating the coverage every time down the field. So why would you have him come out of your backfield when you got 4 running backs that can execute? That's play calling. You can't blame Mason for not executing if you don't give him the ball. You can't blame Usyk for not executing if you don't give him the ball. You can't blame Kittle for not executing if you don't give him the ball. You can't expect Jimmy G to do something he's never done before. Be a nimble quarterback if he's never done that before. Yet you put it on him over and over again, and it failed miserably. 9.6 points per game says there's a systemic failure. It's not an individual one. It's a systemic. Absolutely. The 49ers team deserves to score more points than that. And the only person that's not letting them do that is the coach. Get out of your own way, Shanahan. Call some damn plays. And I'm not saying he's a bad coach. Please don't take it that way. I'm saying he's in a coaching loop. Coaches get comfortable with plays they believe in. And our coach is being reread by teams whose buddies kicked. And they're beating us to our own punch. We've got to make drastic changes. I say, and I say this humbly, that if Jimmy G is getting rambled, throw Purdy in there for a wildcat play and shake the D.
Uncle Keith, if you can hear me, we lost you. You froze. We understand, the storm that's out there. But
I was making a good point. Yeah,
I'm sure you were, man, and you always do, man. You and Prez. Can you hear me, Uncle Keith? Don't say nothing. I'm gonna let our general manager, take the floor as always, man. Because I wanna know what he got to say.
First and foremost, Jimmy almost single-handedly lost to that game. I think that was the worst. That as far as a healthy Jimmy Garoppolo, that was his worst 49er game since he's been here as a quarterback. But I refuse to believe that Jimmy Garoppolo has digressed to what we just saw.
I agree.
Like, he may not be he may not be what people say and what one, and I understand that, and it's right, and they're right. You know what I'm saying? More times than not, Jimmy Garoppolo has proven. I can't say that. In the biggest moments, Jimmy Garoppolo has proven not to be able to be the quarterback that can win us the game when it's on the line. I agree with that statement. But as far as, and when I say the biggest games, those are Super Bowl. We're talking about Super Bowl and NFC Championship. When we're talking about a regular season quarterback, when Jimmy's healthy, he's one of the best in the NFL. His stats does, and I say that as far as he's one of the best as far as our win-loss record, from that standpoint. So my issue is we can talk about the offensive line being more of an issue than people want to say. We can talk about Jimmy's issues. But for the most part, this team is the same team that's been here, except for this line. And so I think that's where we can talk about as far as, is the line a bigger issue than we thought? And it doesn't matter that they're not doing bad in passing or run. You know what I'm saying? As far as that. But if it's not working together in the facet that brings camaraderie, you know what I'm saying, then it can make it more difficult. And so, but if we're not talking about any of those issues, the play calling to me is absolutely horrible. And it's been like this. It's the play calling is not, because it is predictable. It's over and over. It's the same plays on third down over and over and over. It's either Debo getting the carry, or that Debo or Jawan Jennings screen pass, or a 2 or 3 yard out to Kittle. Like, there's no dynamic to this offense. And Kyle admitted it. Like, he said, well, we can't surprise Debo anymore. You know what I'm saying? But yet he continues to do it, which is fine. You know what I'm saying? But you're continuing to do that, and now people know that it's coming. And my issue is you're still continuing to do that, because he did it we watched him do it in the playoffs with Debo. And now he's doing the same thing in the regular season with Debo, where everything's predicated on getting the ball to Debo. And it's crazy to me when you have one of the highest paid tackles in the game. You have the highest paid fullback in the game. You have one of the highest paid tight ends in the game. It's crazy. It's crazy to me that people refuse, the fan base are refusing to look at this situation and realize, like, the issue is the underutilization of the other players that are on this football team.
I don't want to cut you off, bro. I don't want to cut you off, Prez. Let me go back to Kyle. The first half was pretty good. Let's be honest, guys. That first touchdown, that wasn't supposed to be a touchdown. Real talk. That was really pass interference on Debo for letting Ayuk go across, because when he came off the line, he was blocking, and you were supposed to run your route. That really wasn't supposed to be a touchdown for us. I don't know if y'all realize when we was watching the game, I ain't say nothing, because I was like, yo, they gave us one. Even the commentator had mentioned it. Chris, even though I don't agree with him some of the times, but he was right on point.
Collinsworth?
Right. He was right on point.
It was a big play.
But that play right there, we wasn't supposed to score a touchdown right there.
Okay.
That was pass interference.
Got it.
Now, in regards after that, yes, they gave that to us. Now, as far as Kyle Shanahan play calling, in the first half, I think it was fine. I think when it got to the second half, when we wasn't executing on third down, because first down and second down, we were fine. Third down, we wasn't executing with our offensive line. What I've read today, Ayuk, he was getting shackled down the field, and there was double teaming Debo. So my thing is, where can you go when Ayuk is being shackled, Debo is getting double teamed, the offensive line is blowing up coverage, because we know that we had lost Trent Williams. Then they brought in Jalen Moore. Jalen Moore did not play good at left tackle. That's why they took him out and brought in McKivitz.
Let us answer your question. You asked where can you go, right? Where we can go is to not keep making excuses for that line and dump the ball to a halfback. Where we can go is bring Danny Gray in. Where we can go is bring Mason in. Where we can go is have Wilson catch a pass.
And this George Kittle.
And Kittle. The overpaid blocking tight end in NFL. That's where we can go. That is where your coaching takes over.
Absolutely. We're talking about the same quarterback. We're talking
over again.
The same wide receivers. Some of the same running backs.
Yeah.
Like we're talking about the same people. The difference is that no longer is the team that Jimmy plays for designed to be around Jimmy. This team, offensive line wise, was scripted to be behind Trey, in body type and now in position. As we're a year later and we see all these other dudes last year that played one position, now play another position on this line with a Trey Lance offense. So it's absolutely 1,000%. When it's 9 points a game, it's on your offensive coordinator or whoever is calling the plays, because at this point, ain't nothing new. There ain't no surprises. You lost Trent Williams, but outside of that, we ain't had Elijah. You got everyone else. Like he doesn't like. You don't want to run the ball, and he's averaging 6 yards up carry, and your offense can't pass anything. Your quarterback can't seem to complete passes. For whatever reason, can't seem to complete passes. The answer is obvious. It's the play calling, because it's the same plays. It's the same play calls over and over. Every time we're in the situation where it's third down, it's the same 2 or 3 play calls.
All of them?
Most of them. We just went 1 for 8 or 1 for 9. Here's my point: is there wasn't a whole lot of third downs that we did not convert where Jimmy was throwing the ball downfield. They weren't Jimmy incomplete passes 10, 15 yards down the field. Debo's getting stopped at the line of scrimmage on the screen pass, or Jawan Jennings is getting stopped on the screen pass, or you're throwing in a double coverage, which is on the quarterback, triple coverage to Debo on a 10-yard route. George Kittle's not in the game. He's never included in the game plan. Your quarterback is not 100% doing anything to win these games, right? That game at all.
Okay. Listen, you know me, bro. I respect your opinion regarding the play calling. I don't agree with that, because that has been scripted for the game to be executed.
Those aren't scripted though. It's not. There's no fourth quarter scripted plays when you're in the game and you're lying. In my opinion, there's no. I hear what you're saying. That's the coach. That is the coach. When you're in the fourth quarter, that is the reciprocation of the plays that have been called in the position that you're put in every single time. So I don't think they scheme. I think you scheme for the first drive. Most teams do that for the first drive. If you have an elite quarterback, a Tom Brady or a Peyton Manning, you can probably script the first 2 or 3 drives. But outside of those, and those are with the best quarterbacks, most teams are doing 1, maybe 2 series scripted. Everything else is freelance.
I'm talking about the whole game, bro. There's a scheme that is prepared for a game. That has. Go ahead, Uncle Keith. I feel like you're about to say something. Go ahead.
No, I was about to burp.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm serious. I'm sorry.
There's a scheme that is prepared for the game. If it's not executed, sometimes it can be changed by the coach if he wants to do it. We may not agree with it, but if Kyle Shanahan sees something that's not being executed, I'm going to use that word, then he might play. That's what I was saying earlier. Sometimes he will be aggressive with his play calling, and sometimes he might be conservative. And
do you think he should have been conservative the second half of this game?
Yes.
You think he should have been conservative?
No, I don't think so. However, it's something that he's seen with Jimmy G. We got to remember, Jimmy G was 1 for 10. 1 for 10 in the second half, and five out of those 1 for 10, he underthrew or overthrew or threw to double coverage to one of our wide receivers. So when you see
in the second half, what was our running back per carry average?
I'm not really sure, but if we're gonna talk about that, we're gonna get into that.
Let me tell you what it was in the first half. It was 5.6 yards per carry in the first half. How many times did we carry in the second half? Run the ball. Less than a third of our plays. So we had the most yards per attempt running the ball, yet we stopped running the ball. And you already tell them we got a quarterback that was 1 for 10 passing the ball. Why are we not running? The numbers answer that. And who determines the play? Jimmy D is not calling plays. Shanahan is.
But Uncle Keith, okay, let me be clear regarding those 1 for 10. Maybe I wasn't clear, and that's on me. I'm talking about the third down.
We saw the same.
I know, but I'm talking about on third downs. The first 2 downs. See, and that was the issue that I was reading today. That I was reading that some reporters were saying Kyle Shanahan should change it, and this was what being said, and it's facts. What Kyle would do, he would lead the pass with the running. The first 2 downs, he would run first, and then the third down, he will pass. And that's right. So you're talking about running. He did that first and second down. That's why I said we were fine.
He didn't do that in the second half because less than a third of our attempts were runs in the second half.
I understand, but
meaning that means it's not possible that they ran first and second down in the second half.
Well, the most egregious play in the entire game, Jimmy G had a 3rd and 3 with 6 yards clear in front of him, and he threw a ball to the ground.
And he could have ran it.
He could have walked it.
That's my point. But what I'm saying, I understand. See, what y'all saying is, I respect it. Y'all talking about play calling first. I'm talking about execution first.
I disagree.
I'm going by what you said. You said the issue was the play calling.
It is.
So why you say you disagree? And I said that's what you said.
It's with the execution part of it. If you're running the ball and not throwing the ball on third down predictably every time, it doesn't matter what the execution is because the running backs have already proven they can get 6.2 yards or 5.6, or they can damn sure get 3 yards. We didn't call the right plays at the right time. That's the responsibility of the coach. We had no in our play calling, and this who John V says 20 to 25 speed of plays. That's why we don't want Jimmy Tempton to throw beyond those numbers. He's a fish out of water. Wow, that's steep. That's a deep statement right there, bro. I can't argue with you, John V. I really can't.
Listen.
Yeah. If everybody, because he's
right. You said something really important earlier when you said this offensive line was designed for Trey.
That's true.
This whole scheme is designed.
That's true. Listen,
and Mark, you're right when it comes to execution too, because if it was designed for Trey and you got Jimmy trying to execute it, that might be half the problem. What do you think?
Listen, man. Listen. We would. Well, me and Prez, we was on the Faithful Boys show last Thursday, and I told y'all I was never concerned about the defense. I was concerned about the offense. And I was saying that the offense got to execute on third down. And Prez, you remember I said Jimmy
G didn't execute.
Huh?
He didn't execute.
Right. I agree. So listen, guys, I agree with y'all. Listen, I respect Kyle Shanahan for taking the blame, and he did. Jimmy, he never does. So my thing is with Jimmy and Prez, again, I mentioned it last week. We was on the Faithful Boys show. Jimmy, we've seen him play better than this. I'm not with that. We were rusty. I do believe that you play out of sync and you playing out of rhythm. Now, when he said we need to play with rhythm, I agree with that because I understand because I played football. You got to establish rhythm on the field to execute, to convert the next down. I agree with him. But when he was started using that excuse that I know training camp, because we already know that he was about to be out the door until they made a decision, and also until he made a decision to come back. So just to piggyback off that, I'm pretty sure y'all probably heard or read his statement regarding Kyle Shanahan stupid plays or whatever he has said.
Rightfully so.
Right. So in my mind, I'm like, yo, you decided to come back anyway. So I'm like, yo, if his plays that stupid, I don't agree with that. We may not understand why Kyle Shanahan calls conservative plays at a certain time. We will never understand that. He sees something that we don't see.
What he sees is his own fear. Exactly. I'm gonna be honest with you. He called him football like a punk. Straight up. And Jimmy G is making him look like an ass.
It's facts, man.
Sometimes, and I don't know. Let's go all the way. Let's take this to Make America Great Again and just say it's a conspiracy. But at the bottom line, it would have to be to look this sad to me. How hard can it be to know what's working and what ain't working? Hell, defensive line coach say, hey, coach, they're running the ball. We killing them. We were killing them, running the ball. And we were missing open people. Was it on purpose or was it because of the scheme? I don't know what the coach is seeing. But what I do know, if it ain't working, you fix it. You do something different.
But think about what you just said, Uncle Keith. It is the scheme. The scheme was to have them open. Like, for instance, when Jimmy G had threw into double coverage, and I remember I text y'all and I said it was triple. It was really double coverage. It's just that third guy came after the ball that had got deflected. Thank God it wasn't intercepted. But you don't throw it to double coverage. All I'm saying, listen, guys.
He does.
Hold up, Prez. Listen, I'm not coming down on Jimmy. All I'm saying is he know better not to do that. And I said it last week. Like, when there's a guy open, he doesn't see it. I'm not saying that he don't want to see it. He just don't see it. And I'm like, yo, he's very selective. It was another play that he was throwing a ball to George Kittle. Thank God it was deflected. You follow what I'm saying? Because it would have been intercepted underneath. Matter of fact, I think Ayuk was down the field open. Or I think it was Debo. That's another play. I think it was Ayuk. Ayuk was open. But the next play, Jimmy G had connected with Ayuk. You follow what I'm saying? So all I'm saying is, for our coming up game Monday night, yo, Jimmy G has to play better. It starts with him on the field. It starts with him on the field. It ain't gonna happen.
Well,
but it ain't gonna happen. What has to happen? Somebody's gonna have the courage. Go ahead, partner. I'm sorry. You good, Prez?
All I want to say is when we criticize, realize that that is one of the best defenses in the NFL. No one's criticizing Russell Wilson for the game that he had against us.
They should be.
Huh?
They should be criticizing.
He played horrible. Yes.
There's no way we should have lost that game.
Exactly.
And understand this, Mark.
No.
Yes. I love everybody that's having this conversation. And I'm going to say this. There was no reason for us to lose this game. It would only take one effective play for us to have won that game. Or one less stupid play. We're not that far away from winning some games. We just have to not only execute, but put ourselves in a position to execute. If Jimmy is not going to hit open people, scheme around that. If the offensive line on the right-hand side, McGlinchey and him is not going to protect him in the pass, scheme around that. And if you got the three horsemen of Armageddon in the backfield and come off the bench that can run the ball, let them run. They get so scared of the run, they respect the pass. They don't respect our pass. We do the same 3 damn passes every time.
Every time. That is the issue. And that is the issue. That is the issue. They don't even look different. They're the same plays and the same routes.
It started thundering. Somebody got scared. I'm sorry.
What'd you say?
It started thundering.
Let me read this. Thank you for your comment, Beto. Please forgive me if I'm saying your name wrong, bro. Kyle Shanahan can call a play, but if it's not executed to perfection, it doesn't matter. He streamed up Debo to be open, and Jimmy missed him. Yeah, we clearly seen that, and he also missed IU. What I had previously said.
And how long has Jimmy missed them? For 2 or 3 years now. 2 or 3 years. My thing with this is that Jimmy's missing them on the same plays, right or wrong. It's always that out. It's always that out, or it's use check, always opening the flat on that swing around. It's like the same plays Jimmy is consistently shown not to be able to complete for years. So
with Trey out, I have a question for the faithful. With Trey out, would you rather try to win with Jimmy or try not to lose with Purdy?
No, hold on, because that's how. 1 second, because my thing is that, so it's like that's where the play calls come in. If you're continuously calling a play that is always open, that your quarterback has shown you over and over and over, he's not completing to the point he doesn't want to make that throw. He saw Debo open on that first round, in that first quarter, he saw him open and he looked him off and chose not to throw it. Jimmy does not, for whatever reason, want to make that throw to the point that he looked him off and then did what he did. So that is where coaching comes in. This is where stop calling the same plays your quarterback is showing you he can't deliver. He hasn't delivered them in the playoffs. He hasn't delivered them in the regular season. It's like, so that's where it comes down to the play calling matters, because I've never watched a team. I've watched football pretty much my entire life, and I have watched football with mostly not 95% non-mobile quarterbacks that have bad lines. What happens when you have a bad line and a non-mobile quarterback? You run the football and you use halfback passes to neutralize the rush. I've hollered for years the lack of halfback passing that this, and then you watch
the Cowboys and the Giants game.
I was just about to say it. Like, you watch it week after week, bad offenses week after week after week, and the only way that they move the ball is running the ball and using halfback passes to create their space, to neutralize a rush. And for whatever reason, our coach doesn't want to do that. I just like I don't agree with the things, because it's like, let's see Jimmy not execute new plays is my issue with the execution problem. Like, yeah, it's like quit showing. It's like, why does Shanahan keep putting him in positions he knows Jimmy's not going to work?
Well, that goes back to some of our fan base that we don't let him to like ball out. Some of our fan base feel that Kyle Shanahan got him shackled, which I disagree. But that's just my humble opinion.
I mean, I think
this. Go ahead, bro.
I think no, you go ahead. No, you good.
No. I just think, again, guys, listen. I believe, and I'm sure you guys believe, that Kyle would never put us in a position for us to lose, man. I'm not saying y'all saying that. All I'm saying is I believe that Kyle scripts up a great game plan for the game, yo. And
I disagree. You can't script the whole game.
Say it again.
I think football scientifically, you cannot script the whole game.
And if he is, it's exactly why our games continuously play out the way they do.
You cannot do that. It makes no football logic whatsoever to script an entire, because games change. In the second half of this game, we were ineffective passing the ball. Yet we stayed with the scheme, supposedly, and we didn't run the ball. That's why, if he's doing it, I'm not saying he's not, Mark. I'm saying he shouldn't. So I'm not disagreeing that he may do it. I'm saying you shouldn't. Your coach should be the best quarterback on the field. He should read what the defense is giving him and what the other team is trying to take away from him and make adjustments. I do not see Shanahan doing that.
It would be different. It would be different. And I'm one of the biggest Jimmy advocates on this show, and period. It would be different.
What you think?
If you don't know we have literal evidence of the things going on that have been going. Is this not what happened in the playoffs last year? It's like, and how long have we watched Shanahan get a lead, and then Perk one time, bro, get a lead and just run the ball because he knows we have a great defense, and then you tire out your defense. The way that he does things, Shanahan gets a lead and then he sits on it.
Guys, listen, Perk, I appreciate your comment, bro, and I respect your opinion. I can't put that all on the coaches, guys. Real talk. I will give it some blame, but
We're not saying that.
No, yeah. I'm not saying that. I'm just telling you me. I'm not putting all that on the coaches. Maybe 50% and 50% of the athlete. The athletes know better, man. They know better. Their job. Hold up. Their job is to do their job and execute the play.
Okay. So if you were running a business and you had your players aligned in an assembly line to get it out the fastest, and you have people that continuously not do their thing that they're doing inside this, would you keep them there, or would you shuffle it around?
Nope.
And I'm metaphorically saying that as far as the plays that are used. If a game is scripted and you have an assembly line of plays, why are you not mixing them around? Why is everything predictable? Why, as fans that we watch our team every single week, why can we sit down in these games and pretty much tell you what's coming on third down, or if it's second down and 8, or as soon as Debo's lined up in the backfield? We can tell you this as a fan base. Would you not agree?
So let me ask you this. See, the thing is, I don't know what Kyle changed or did not change. I really don't know. All I know as far as that Jimmy was 1 for 10, and 5 plays out of that 1 for 10, Jimmy either overthrown or underthrown. So with that said,
let me check the weather report.
I know y'all was talking about
but I can't.
I know y'all was talking about Mason should run more. I agree. However, guys, technically, Tevin Coleman was supposed to start that game. Unfortunately, he had sickle cell. Out there in that climate in Denver, he couldn't play. So that's why he didn't play. That's why they had Wilson as our starting running back. That's why they was running Debo heavily. Yes, Cal know, and we should know that we was gonna use pardon me, guys. What's up, P Warrior?
What's happening, y'all?
What's up, bro?
All good.
Yeah, man, we good, bro. Hey, P Warrior, real quick. I just want to let you know, man, we freestyling tonight, bro. Okay. So we just whatever comes to our minds, man. We just speaking what we think about this past Sunday performance and loss. Kyle Shanahan play calling from the beginning to the end. Jimmy performance from the beginning to the end. The offensive line, the defense. I even thought the defense should have played better. I was just telling the faithful huddle when I was on your show with being good. What I say, bro? I wasn't concerned about the defense. I wanted the offense to be like on the field as long as they can, and I wanted them to execute every play, extend the play. I was worried about the offense. Now, I remember also mentioning on your show with your brother Ben Good. Shout out to Ben Good. Please check out Faithful Boys. I remember I was saying how Russell beats us. He beats us with his legs, and guess what happened? He beat us with his legs, and you know how he beat us? Just like I said last week on your show, bro. When our defense run at them, they go like this. What that does, that leaves the middle open, and he goes straight down the field. And what did I say? If y'all remember, Prez and P. Ward, I was saying that Aziz, before he got hurt, I said Aziz should be the guy that stay underneath, because I know that they know that Hufanga is doing this thing. I was saying Aziz has to be the guy that stay underneath, but nobody stood underneath. You follow what I'm saying? But yeah, man, I understand the frustrations is high. It's high with me. Listen, again, like I said, I will always respect our opinions. We may all see something different, even though we look at the same damn game. But yeah,
man. Here's my thing.
What up?
Is that this is what in the offseason, this is what I said. This is the things that I harped on with Shanahan's play calling down the stretch of games.
Yep.
And this line and the issues that it was going to cause. Like, if we are real honest, who was the one that said, and there was a point that I said we were going to be possibly 1-3, that we could lose to the Bears and go the route that we went.
Yeah, you said that.
I'm the same.
You said that.
I'm the same person that said that, and that was with Trey. We weren't even talking about Jimmy.
But the offense didn't lose that game.
Huh?
The offense didn't lose that game.
Which one?
The Bears. You just mentioned the Bears.
Yeah,
the offense did not lose that game. The defense lost that game.
The Bears game, bro. We have given up 9 points a game. They give up 9. You give up 11.
Don't go about what you said, bro. You said that we was gonna lose the first game, and I said I agree with you. I remember what you said, and all I'm saying is our offense did not lose that game.
Lose this Bears game week 1.
The defense lost that game.
In my opinion, you can't give up. How many points did we give up?
19 to 10.
Yeah. We can't. I'm not blaming that. So our offense didn't score 3 touchdowns with who you got.
Honest.
I'm not saying give them a slide. Give them a slide. Saying, but it's like 19 points when you're. Didn't we turn the ball over a couple of times? Points. There's things that go into points as far as how they got their points, and we
not to go off topic, bro. Just to remind you, we gave 2 touchdowns with 2 wide receivers that was wide open. It's on the defense. The defense lost us that game in week 1. That's all I'm saying. I said I agree with you that you said we was going to lose, but we lost because of the defense.
I think what Prez is saying is the offense being totally ineffective in the same condition the other team scored on.
I get that.
Just as much. Hold on, I'm not finished.
I know.
I'm not finished, bro. Cost us the game as much as the defense did. So you just can't blame it on the defense and give the offense a pass. That's complete BS. It is utterly disrespecting the game as it's supposed to be played. There's no reason for this 49er team in this composition to be averaging 9.8 points per game and not say that the offense is responsible for that. That's garbage. I'm done.
I would agree with that.
My bad. Go ahead, Pete.
For week 1?
On week 1.
Yeah.
It wasn't. Okay. So all 3 of y'all saying that it wasn't the defense.
Very clearly, we're saying the offense is just as responsible for those losses, if not more so, by not scoring any points. Okay. Our defense is arguably, by every person that's talking about football, the second best defense in the league. That's all we need to do is score. The defense is doing its job.
I would agree with that.
On
everybody has a busted play 2 plus 1 or 2 games. But if you can't score more than 10 points a game, you got no choice but to depend on your defense. And we ain't getting blowed out. We're getting beat by 2 points, by 9 points.
Listen, I agree.
And that's the offense.
Hey, bro, and
holla now.
We had 2 turnovers in Chicago. So that is the offense putting your defense in situations. I'm not saying that they didn't collapse at the end of the game. Yes, the defense collapsed at the end of the game, 100%. The defense is the only reason we were even in that game.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay.
They had two turnovers. They had two turnovers that probably led to points. Let me see if they led.
This how I look at it.
What's that?
I mean,
Hey, P-Warrior.
well, Uncle Keith, man, I hope you're well out there with all of that hurricane. Praise God.
I got walls all around me. In Jesus on my
Okay, well,
side.
praise the Lord for that. First off, glad you're well. But man, look, I haven't watched that game since Sunday. I can't. And the reason why is because it's frustration. Because I mean, you got all this talent on offense. The defense balling out, hands down. You held Russell Wilson down. You held the offense down for pretty much 4 quarters.
Yeah.
But because you couldn't convert on third down, because when you had opportunities to make plays, you didn't. Now you expose the defense, wore them down, and then eventually Russell did what he did, like you said, Mark, and ultimately beat us. Chicago game, y'all had opportunities with Trey.
Yep.
And y'all didn't capitalize. Now you played a complete 4-quarter game against Seattle, minus Russell Wilson, but we would never know what Trey was going to be like in the whole game because obviously he got hurt.
Yeah.
And Jimmy really coming in without no reps or nothing probably was to his advantage. Jimmy looked horrible out there because it's just, I mean, that's just my opinion. Man, come on. How do you, number one, give up a safety on your own inline? You got to know where you at on the field, regardless of the play call.
P-Ward, you just made a great point. When Jimmy came into that second game, there was no script for him, and they just played football.
Yeah.
But they kicked butt. It wasn't scripted. It wasn't conscripted. It wasn't controlled. They played football. And that's the best game we had offensively all year.
And I think we talked about it on the show on Tuesday after we was reviewing the game. And I was saying, y'all got to let Jimmy play free.
Shit.
I mean, I know you got to script plays. I understand Shanahan in the script. I get that. But to me, Jimmy limitations. You know what he can and can't do. So while you want the structure, you got to kind of just let it be like a freewheeling type of thing out there with Jimmy. I think that's the only.
You see what Perk Dog just wrote? I feel what you're saying, that Mark, and I agree to the extent the players up the execute. But Shannon needs to take Jimmy in the back room and slap him to that he mysteriously never sees. Come on now, Perk Dog, holla.
I don't know. I don't know. I guess I'm frustrated because I'm saying to myself, I'm not saying that if Trey would have been in there, the result wouldn't have been the same. We don't know because he wasn't in there. But I'm saying to myself, do Shanahan call this game differently with him in there as opposed to Jimmy?
Right.
I mean, it just like that drive they scored the touchdown. That's the way they supposed to play every rep. You run the ball, you get the passes, and you go right down the field and you score. And then you see how the defense was feeding off of that. The defense came out there smashing them from jump. And we had it. And Russell, you know what I'm saying?
And Russell
it's
horrible.
like
Russell played horrible.
That's what I'm saying. It's like the first series they got the ball. Fred, one of them boys. And you know who I liked in the game too that was really out there beasting was Lenore. I was loving the fact Lenore was out there killing them out there, man. And it's like, man, you see these boys, they hitting, they physical, they playing the style we love to see. And like I said, the touchdown drive, they feeding off of it, man. But then it's like the offense could never build off of that drive. And then y'all just keep the more you let Russell Wilson and these quarterbacks hang around, eventually they're going to get you. And that's what happened. And it goes back to what I said. It's like, man, when we got you by the throat, Shanahan take his hand off the throat and let you in a game. It's the killer instinct, man. Y'all, it's like the narrative is going to be y'all can't finish teams when you got them down, and that's not the right look in a narrative.
You know what us also that kind of put us in a bad situation a couple of times. us being pinned down within the 5-yard line.
Yeah, the field position sucked.
Exactly,
with that.
man.
Yeah, it was like he could never. Yeah,
those was the time. Those was the
yeah.
times where I was like, "Yo, we got to be more aggressive as far as converting on third down." And guys, I don't want y'all thinking that I don't get it what y'all saying as far as Kyle Shanahan. I'm always ride with Kyle Shanahan, whether y'all agree or not regarding his play call. However, he was doing some conservative plays. I don't know if he was relying on the defense just in case if we don't convert, but our offensive line didn't do good, guys.
Well, I'm gonna say
that's one time you should have a scheme plays when you're inside the 10-yard line. You should have plays to get you from deep in the zone. Plays that you know are effective. And the most effective plays we had in the last 2 games have been running plays. We got a committee of running backs, and I keep telling you, nothing speaks more to me than a rookie running back that gets hit for the 5-yard gain and takes it to 9. That's what you need inside the 10. We only did it once.
That's true. Yeah, he's 1 for 7.
But my thing is this: is like on some level he is leaning on the defense too much.
Of course he is.
He always has. Yeah. He always has.
And I know. I mean, we know what the defense have been playing. They've been playing top 2, number 1 in the league, all of that. But my thing was, okay, man, you went with Jeff Wilson. You gave Mason 1 or 2 carries. We never saw we never saw the other running back.
Not great. I mean,
who? Mason? Mason?
No.
TD
Mac wasn't active.
Marlon. Okay, yeah, okay. I didn't know he. But why didn't he play?
I think he was
Marlon
inactive.
Mack didn't play at all.
He was inactive.
Okay, he was inactive. Okay, but this is the thing. I mean, you can't run Jeff Wilson the whole game.
Yeah.
You could have gave Mason more carries, give him a chance to maybe do something. Now, at times I thought the offensive line played well. Now, when you got in the third and long situations, then Randy Gregory and Chubb was able to tee off. And then when Trent Williams went down, then we knew it was over then.
Right.
Because McKivitz and Jalen Moore couldn't block me, and I'm old.
And I'm older.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So that just messed it up more. And then the field position, it was like we was always pinned back and had to go longer drives, but their field position was a little better, but the defense was still holding them. And the defense holding them, we could never get outside of past the 10, 15, 20-yard line. But, you know, I don't know.
Yo, bro.
What's up?
It's just frustrating, man.
Okay, that's your boy Chris.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
It's like, and here's the thing. Every time we have one of these losses, we say the same thing.
True.
Because we run the same offense in the same situations, and there's film on it, and there's tape on it, and we continuously lose the same exact ways, and it doesn't change. So
I agree with you there.
Therefore, if that's the case, the common denominator at that point would be calling the plays that you're calling in the situations that you're calling them. Besides execution, meaning absolutely, Mark, you're right, but execution is the given.
Hey, y'all, love y'all. We got a tornado warning within 3 miles. Imminent. They're going to shut everything down. I got to go.
All right, man.
All right.
Love y'all. Love y'all.
Posted, okay?
All right. I'll let you know I come on. Let me shut everything down.
All right,
sorry, guys.
All right.
No, you good.
All right.
Damn, tornado.
Yo, it's serious, man. It's serious.
Yeah, oh yeah. I've been watching it all day.
Yeah, man. Again, let me say this. I appreciate your availability, guys. I didn't really think we was going to have a show tonight, but I appreciate, everybody coming through, because I was more concerned about my uncle.
Yeah.
Regarding that storm.
Yeah, I've been watching it all day, the coverage.
Yeah, man.
I'm not saying
I've been through it, so.
I'm not saying, you know what I'm saying? Jimmy's to blame, 100%. You right, Mark, because at the end of the day, when you call the plays and Jimmy don't deliver, he's to blame, 100%. There ain't no doubting that. My thing is, why are you continually as a coach putting in him spots and asking him to do these things that you know he's not going to do more than likely in this situation? That's what I say when I mean scheme. That's where it's time for Shanahan to take. It's like there's no more excuses for Jimmy, and there's no more excuses for Shanahan to continually think that the way he's going about these games with Jimmy, limitations and all, interceptions and all, because this is who you have. This is who you have. And it's like, it's now Shanahan's responsibility to figure out how not to be in situations at the end of the game where Jimmy has to win you the game.
Let me ask y'all both this, guys. Serious question. Who has the more leverage of executing the game plan? Kyle with his play calling, or Jimmy with his leadership on the field? Who you think? I'm sorry, guy.
I'm gonna say this to answer your question.
No doubt.
Kyle have to give the players the opportunity to make plays, but ultimately it still comes down to them making a play. Now, it's got to be a combination of the two. Kyle calls a particular play based off of the down distance, situation, time in the game, so on and so forth. Now, you would hope that he's calling plays that's going to play to the strength of the players that's out there. Now, if you got players like Trent Williams that's hurt, then that's going to affect what you could call, because, you know, you bet the best maybe play in football, especially the best left tackle in football, is not there.
Yeah.
Now, to me, and I'm going to just piggyback off of what Perez was talking about, it's getting old with him putting Debo in the backfield. Everybody know when you put him in the backfield, he's getting the ball, whether it's a pass or a run, and they own it. So you got to start getting the ball to IU. You got to start getting the ball to Jennings. You got to start using your running backs out of the backfield. There was only one pass in the game that I saw before I had to go to work Sunday night where he threw a ball to a running back, and that was after he looked downfield and didn't see a man open.
And he
other than that, they didn't throw to the running backs at all. But all of these boys can catch the ball. You got to use, you got to use the strengths of all of the players out there, and that's not being done. You know what I'm saying? And Shanahan, it's turning into what it was last year. Jimmy gonna look for Debo, Jimmy gonna look for Kittle, and he's looking for Ayuk because now he have confidence
now
in
he
Ayuk.
is. Yeah.
And now he is, and he'll go to Jennings. But we know Jimmy is limited. So Kyle, this comes back to you. What can you call play wise, or you just gonna let him just be free and let him just play his game? To me, the disconnect is, Kyle, you want the scheme ran, but Jimmy can't run your scheme the way you want it run. Exactly. So are you gonna scrap your scheme and just let him play his game? And just like in the Seattle game, he came in, you just let him throw it and just run the plays that he was comfortable with. You got to let him run the plays that he's comfortable with and let him just get the ball to who he can get the ball to within the confines of that play. Because to me, this is what this season was going to be with Trey Lance. Y'all drafted Trey Lance because he's going to run your scheme, and he has the ability to make plays outside of the scheme when it breaks down. You know Jimmy can't run the scheme, but he don't have the ability to make things happen outside of it. But you hamstringing him because you know he can't do it, but you want him to, and then when he make a mistake, you looking at him sideways. But you calling plays that you know he can't execute. Really, and I think you said it, we all said it. Y'all designed this offense, the line, running backs, for Trey Lance.
Yeah.
Before he got hurt. This whole offense was designed for him and his strengths. Now you got to go
with him.
Yeah, now you going back to Jimmy, and you got to do what Jimmy do best. But the way that Jimmy played, Jimmy is a freelance quarterback. He play better outside of the structure of a scheme as opposed to being in the structure of the scheme. And that's what Shanahan, you got to get and come to the party and be like, okay, look, I just got to let him just play like he played in 17 when he came in, and even how he played against Seattle. That's the way we going to win, because you got the defense, you got an improved special teams. If the offense don't come to the party, you're going to kill a defense, and we're not going to have a chance to win games.
Now, this is what I don't understand. I feel what you're saying, P-Ward. I do, bro. This is what I don't this is what I don't understand as an overall regarding our fan base when they say that Kyle Shanahan's scheme is difficult for Garoppolo. This is what I don't understand. Reason why I don't understand, like, yo, you gotta script plays to encourage him to throw down a field and also connect. Yo, that pass that he overthrown Debo. Debo was looking like this, waiting for the ball to come down. It was so much air underneath that ball. Yo, if Jimmy would have threw that target, I think Debo would have scored that touchdown. But the point,
because he beat the guy, and that's the thing. And on some level, as I'm watching the game, I'm liking the fact that you're trying to push the ball downfield, but that's not his game. If Trey Lance is there and throws that pass, that's a touchdown automatic. We know that because he's gonna lay it out there. We know he's a better deep ball thrower than Jimmy. Now he might not be better as far as throwing the quick game and the slants and all of that. We would have found that out in time. Well, we wanted to find that out in time before he got hurt, unfortunately. But in that particular play, he would have threw it, and then he would have threw to the running back. See, this is to me.
Check. I'm about to read out some stats, guys.
Oh, Lord, it's just frustrating, man.
Bro, when I was at the game last Sunday for the Seattle game, yo. Now you remember when? Of course, y'all know when Jimmy took over from Trey Lance. He was running Trey Lance scheme, right? He did his thing. Check this out. In the first half, Jimmy G threw for 11.3 air yards down the field in the first half. That's Trey Lance playbook. You follow what I'm saying? Second half, Jimmy G threw for 5.0 yards per attempt in the second half. The first half, he was number 1 in the NFL. The second half, he was number 30 in the NFL.
So what does that mean?
What that mean is, yo, it's not really always, guys. It's not always the play calling. If he can do that, number 1, regarding Trey Lance playbook, ain't no reason why he couldn't do that this past Sunday and going forward down the season.
Facts. Other than Shanahan letting him.
But Prez, I was
letting him. Other than Shanahan letting him.
But he let him last weekend, bro.
So then why didn't he let him in Denver?
Bro, I don't know.
That's coaching, but that's the difference. That's what I'm saying. This is where we get into. That's what I'm saying. That's Shanahan.
I don't know. I really don't know, bro. Let me tell you. You know what it is, yo.
We know it's Jimmy. You're right.
Right. No. We agree. And I've said this, yo, even when we was watching the game, even though we was texting each other. I think our brother 49 was like, yo, we need to score. And what did I say? If y'all remember, I said, no, we don't need to score. We need rhythm to score.
Facts.
We need rhythm, guys. Football, you need rhythm.
We
need rhythm.
Fact.
That's why I said to y'all guys early in the show. That's why I said earlier, I agree with Jimmy, and he's right. They was out of sync. They was not in rhythm at all.
Well, that's my bad.
You're right, Brad. That's on the coach.
But no, that's not on the coach. That's a given, bro.
I'm talking about play calling. I'm talking about play calling as far as staying aggressive.
Yes.
Even though you witness that the rhythm's not there.
Exactly.
I'm just saying, that's what I'm saying. Like, I understand Kyle Shanahan aggressiveness with his play calling, and I also know his conservative play calling. I know Kyle Shanahan, how he works.
Do we have more proof with what you just said? Do we have more proof of losing with Kyle Shanahan being aggressive or Kyle Shanahan being conservative? We have time after time. We got the Super Bowl. We got an NFC championship. We got other big time games. We have time after time after time that we know Shanahan is going to lose conservative before he's willing to lose aggressive.
And you know what? Me and you, matter of fact, all three of us, we always agreed on this. It's always been the second half. It's always been the second half.
Listen, because think about what you said. Think about what you said in the first half. Right. Let's assume that Jimmy stayed in Trey Lance's playbook that game, the entire first and second half. If he was number one in the first, or whatever you said, my bad, respectfully, whatever number you said in the first half, and then we were 30th in the second half, what does that inquire? Adjustments were not made by our team that were made by the defense. Because if you are running the same thing and you're one, and then you allow yourself to get to 30th, you are not making adjustments.
Or you got to look at it like this.
Yeah.
On some level, it's not that Kyle is not being aggressive in his play calling, but can Jimmy or will Jimmy be willing to pull a trigger as well?
Chris is 1,000%. Yes, my bad, P.
That's why I posted up.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, we have some concerns about Kyle. You know, I would still say he's a good play caller, hands down.
Kyle,
hands down, man.
Yeah, Kyle one of the best. But that's what I'm saying.
Real quick. I'm sorry, people. I gotta say this, bro. Yo, a lot of things is coming down hard on Kyle, yo. Real talk. This is just me. Yo, I'm not going with another head coach than Kyle, yo. I believe in Kyle, yo. Only thing is, and I've said it, I had my concerns within the second half about his conservative play calling. I've always said that. At the same time, I believe there's a reason why. I don't know what reason it is. I just don't know why it is that way regarding his conservative play calling in the second half.
Well, we ain't time for it no more. There's no more time for that. If there is no more time for Jimmy G to squander the roster and what people feel, and I understand it, I don't agree, but I absolutely understand it, and I understand their reasoning. If that's what it is, then Kyle is in the same fucking boat, because at the end of the day, Jimmy cannot continually keep fucking up in the same situations, excuse my language, and Kyle Shanahan's not responsible for putting him in the same situations. The difference is we do not lose games aggressively, we lose them conservative, and we lose them by two things, what y'all just described and what somebody said earlier, is that he always leans on the defense to bail us out.
Yeah.
Like those are my things. And y'all know Kyle Shanahan's my 100%, bro. Like, I don't want no other coach and everything like that. But it is time for Kyle Shanahan to adapt to the reality of our team. They both know each other inside and out. They both know he knows exactly what can. Quit putting him in situations. Quit putting him in situations, asking him to do things that he has shown that he cannot do. It is time for this offense to figure out not only to win football games, but to figure out how not to put themselves in positions for Jimmy to do things we know that he can't do. That's where I'm saying that this team is at 100%.
I seen this, and shout out to my brother, man, our extended family member, John V. What's up, John V? You know we love you, bro. I seen your question. I had to post it up on the screen. He's asking me, what if Kyle wants to leave? I would say this, man. If Kyle wants to leave, one, there's a reason why. And two, I know you ain't asked this question, but if Kyle was to leave, yo, I think the only head coach that I would like to come, be the head coach, it would either be D'Amico Ryans or Sean Payton. Sean Payton, right? That's his name, right? Sean Payton. Mm-hmm. Those only two guys I can be comfortable with leading the 49ers to get our 6th Lombardi trophy. That's my humble opinion.
Well, for me, realize we are talking about a luxury problem with Shanahan. Most teams will be of fan bases, will be of fans that teams never or hardly ever have a chance to even thought of winning the Super Bowl, much less one that can contend every single year. So people need to understand when they talking about Shanahan that you're talking about a luxury problem.
Yeah.
As a fandom, you know what I'm saying? And so it's like there ain't no replacing Shanahan. I don't want him replaced. I'm the type of guy that we can continuously lose this way and be relevant, as opposed to not having Shanahan and being in the other situation. Like, I don't ever want to go back to that 100%. So it's like with Shanahan, it's like, but it's time for him to do better. It is time for Shanahan to do better because he knows the limitations. He knows what can't happen. And P, go back to what P was saying, bro. You're like, we just can't lose. My thing is quit losing the same way with the same plays. Like, as a fan, I shouldn't be able to tell what's coming. If we as fans can tell what's coming or even be like 65, 70% right in third down situations and second down situations of what's coming, what do you think these NFL coordinators and these billion-dollar corporations got that watch all the film and everything?
True.
Appreciate you, Chris. Chris said, I should clarify, though. I do think Kyle is a great play designer. I just feel like the play calling or adjusting isn't lining up with his reputation anymore. If Jimmy hits those open targets,
but that's the problem.
That's the problem.
And that's what I was saying.
Thank you,
to me, it's a combination of, it's not that Kyle ain't trying to be aggressive and calling aggressive plays, but will Jimmy pull a trigger in those moments? On some level, okay, you know what the play call is. You know it's supposed to go downfield. Case in point, to play the Debo. Now, that should have been a touchdown. If Trey out there, it probably is, because you probably lead him right down. Jimmy, you threw it to where Debo had to slow down and backpedal to get it, because you just didn't let it rip. See, that's the thing. It ain't just Kyle. It's also Jimmy. Jimmy, you just got to just be free and let it rip and throw the ball out there.
Yeah.
And if you complete the pass, great. If you don't, yeah, we're going to be mad. But, man, at least if you putting it out there, we could say, well, damn, at least he was trying to put it out there, as opposed to, man, he holding it or he ain't, doing that. Because you can tell when you just letting it go and when you kind of just trying to make sure you don't mess it up.
Right.
And then for you to say in your press conference, well, I could just play my game. There's no pressure on you, Jimmy.
None.
When you win, there's no pressure on you. And that's what I'm saying. You went into the Seattle game, no pressure. You played free. But in this game, it seemed like you was under pressure from the fans or whatever. It's like you was put back into what you was used to, and then you reverted back to the crap that way you played. So to me, and I haven't, like I said, I haven't watched the game since it happened, because I got to work and I was working and I was listening to it, and as I was listening to it, I knew it was bad. So I was like saying to myself, should I go back and rewatch it? And I did. I just couldn't, because I guess I was just frustrated, because we should have won that game. We was the better team. We've been a better team in the first 3 weeks against these teams, So to me, Kyle, you got to have a reality check and a gut check to, you either going to put all of the players in position, especially Jimmy, to make the plays as necessary to get the offense going. Because you're wasting excellent performances by the defense.
Yeah.
You're wasting it.
Thanks.
And, now you're about to play the Rams on Monday night. Now, I don't know if you can recreate some of that karma you had last year, be deja vu, but you better figure something out, because if not, you're going to get embarrassed out there. And then the fans really going to be calling for you, because there's too much talent on offense for you to be struggling. We know Jimmy limited. Jimmy limited. So you got to either let him you got to just call plays that you feel confident he can throw it, and then Jimmy, you just got to throw it. This the game we should be seeing Marlon Mack. This the game we should be seeing everybody that's up, that's available, that could, that could contribute out there offensively, that is out in the game.
See, this is what I didn't. This is why, you know what I'm saying? Having the way Kyle Shanahan now uses Debo is a hindrance on our offense.
I would agree with that.
Because Shanahan continuously calls these plays over and over, and they're the same looking. They're set up the same way. Every time he lines up in the backfield, every time he gets the ball. I'm not saying that the plays don't go.
I think it's designed to look like that, bro. I feel what you're saying.
Well, it's
designed to look like that. 100%. He would have two play. No, real talk. How Cal is, he would have two players that look the same thing, but have motion going a different direction. It may look the same way, but I'm looking at the receiving yards. Yo, I'm putting on our offensive line, guys, regarding Debo having 5 carries for 6 yards. His longest yards was 3.
Well, here, what I'm getting at is not that he uses him in a bad way. It's to our advantage. I mean, he banks on the plays. Like, he gets positive results. That's why he uses the Debo the way that he does.
Not this past Sunday as far as running. And that's why I mentioned offensive line, because the offensive line wasn't blocking. They was not blocking. That's why I was reading to you.
My problem is, if you were not a fan, right? If you were not a 49er fan, ask it for everybody on here and just anybody watching. If you were not a 49er fan and you were to watch 2 or 3, you watched the playoff games last year, and then you've watched the 3 games this year. So you've watched the last 6 games. Could you tell me right now that you have one of the best tight ends in the game? Could you tell me that Brandon Ayuk was wasn't he like the 20th pick, 19th pick, a first rounder? Could you tell me that there are other weapons on this team other than Debo on this offense?
Yo, I'm gonna be. I feel you, bro. I feel where you're going at, because you mentioned earlier in the show regarding Kittle not being more useful. Yo, I get it.
No, I know. I feel you.
But just to remind you both, guys, if y'all remember I told you I think Kittle is going through something, guys. I'm telling you. I don't think they're not using him for no reason. I'm telling you, I think they gradually working him back, maybe, because this is what I read. I think they gradually working him back into football shape. Just like how Jimmy G was saying that he need to get into football shape, which I really don't get. But I'm telling you, Kittle is this is my whole opinion. I don't have no proof, but based on the training camp before our season started, yo, Kittle, something's going on with Kittle that we don't know.
Well, he just came back. That was his first.
I know, but he need those reps though. That's all I'm saying.
Oh yeah, no.
That's why you gotta play him. He need those reps. But what I'm saying to you, I'm just saying, like, be open-minded. Also to our faithful viewers that's watching. Yes, I'm a big Kittle guy, yo, hands down. I just think something is going on with him to the point they using him.
No.
I don't know, bro. I hear what you're saying.
If that man is out on the field,
I agree. Yes, I know where you're going at.
Here's the real truth. Because this team has never built an offensive line successfully. I'm not saying they haven't used ammunition. I'm not saying they haven't spent money. I'm not saying they haven't let people walk. I'm not, however you want to look at it, built a line. We are now at a situation where if in the game with the people that have to be lined up, Kittle has to block.
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
So I would agree with that at a certain point.
Oh no, I'm giving him
being that we got concerned about McGlinchey. But let's keep it real. Okay. Again, I'm telling you guys, I think Kittle is going through something to the point they gradually work him back into football shape. That's my humble opinion. And you're right. You're right. And we said this on the Faithful Boys show. We were saying we want to see Kittle do his thing, and we want to see Juice do his thing. And Juice had one great catch on the sideline. That was a great catch. Let me back up. That was a great pass by Jimmy G and a great catch. And then it's like before then and after that, I don't know what happened to Jimmy. But I'm telling you, so my thing is this, to the Faithful Huddle and to our favorite viewers. Yo, if we want that from Kittle, we should also want that from Juice. Juice should also get more burn down the field.
Niggas like that.
Right.
We paying them.
I know. That's why I said I'm with you, yo. I just don't understand why they're not using them. I don't know. I can't answer that question.
I was trying to give an excuse as to why Kittle would be on the line giving Shanahan a pass. But the fact is y'all know I've been on this. I've been on this about Kittle and Shanahan not using him in this situation. There ain't no excuses. There ain't no excuses. Week in and week out, who do we see? Mark Andrews, Travis Kelce. Are we? This is the man that had the record for tight end yards. This is the man that broke it.
Yeah. Kittle. I agree.
That was then broke by Travis Kelce. You know what I'm saying? We are talking about the man that we know what he can do. And for the last 2.5 years, how has he been used?
I agree, man. That's why I'm telling you, I think that. Again, guys.
That's on the coach, bro. That's on Shanahan. That's on Shanahan because I don't care. I don't care how bad your line is. Our line ain't ever been as bad as what Joe Burrow went to the freaking Super Bowl with. Ever.
Yo, real quick, I want to show respect to our brother Chris. He posted a comment in a chat room. Let me post it up. He said, would I be incorrect in saying that the run blocking looked worse than the pass blocking, even though they were turnstiles on some plays?
Right. Go ahead, Mark. Do you want to go first?
No, do your thing, bro.
No. No, you're right. You're right. But here's the thing, and this can we go back to them episodes in the preseason where I was complaining about how we were never scoring touchdowns?
Say it again.
Our offense wasn't scoring touchdowns in the preseason.
True.
We have yet to been able to successfully score points at any point in the football season. There is a carryover of what it is, and it's what this line is. There is. It's like because this line is not bad at anything, but
again, that goes back to we were saying earlier. Me and you, Prez. Pardon me. It goes back to rhythm, bro. It's not always play calling.
We ain't never gonna have no rhythm, bro, because we working with rookies and second rounders and people that ain't used to second years and people that ain't used to playing. There ain't no such thing as rhythm. There ain't gonna be no rhythm with this line because what people are not accounting for when we talk about this line, you're literally talking about a makeshift line. And now with Trent Williams out, bro, we are talking about a makeshift line at most. Going up against defensive lines that are full of highly paid superstars, bro. You're not playing regular cats. These dudes are not playing regular dudes on the other side of this football. And so what I am saying now is what I was saying back then is when those moments show up and it's the game's on the line and you're going for it and it's third down. We're watching it. We watched it in Chicago. We watched it last week with the second week. Who played the second week?
Seattle.
Until Jimmy came in and they put up some points on a little run, and you know what I'm saying? And then we watched it last weekend. It's like we're watching the same thing. We're watching this team not score touchdowns. We're watching this team not put points on the board. And so in this line getting beat in these big time moments on these line is going, and it's going to continually get beat because you're going up against Aaron Donald. You're going up against premier athletes that are the best of the best and get paid the highest money. And our line is just not ready, bro. Period. They can't be.
Chris, I'm going to answer your question. No, you're not incorrect regarding our run blocking. Our run blocking did look horrible Sunday night. And that's another reason why that I think why we didn't run the ball more in the second half, because our offensive line was not blocking well, especially on the left side. And I'm telling you, I'm a firm believer there's reasons why Kyle has aggressive plays and he has conservative plays. I believe that based on how the game is flowing, based on the rhythm. If there's no rhythm, man, sometimes you will throw out plays just to see if it's going to be executed. And when it's not executed, then it's like, yo, what can you do? I'm just answering Chris' question in regards to the run blocking. It wasn't good at all. I don't know. I really don't know. I just think that we all agree that we should be 3-0. I believe the first week 1 and this past Sunday we beat ourselves.
Facts.
You follow what I'm saying?
Offense.
Well,
I'm sorry. We went through the Bears game, so there's more than just the offense.
Right. Exactly. I just think that I really think they're gonna learn from this loss this past Sunday. I know that they know they should have executed better. And real talk, in my mind, I don't praise, bro. Even though we have our strong position and opinions regarding the play calling, I'm not sure from the players they have a concern about the play calling. I could be right, I could be wrong. I don't know. But being that this is Kyle Shanahan, fifth, 6th year. I've never heard a player complain about his play calling until they read the list from Jimmy G.
They brothers, you know what I'm saying? So what we hear from them is always gonna have their brothers back, and they in it and win it. And that's the thing. It's like that. And plus, bro, if you're that athlete, you're getting paid all this millions of dollars to carry out, and you're highly paid and highly touted and have a lot of responsibility. They don't care. They got to perform what's called, and that's what they own. You know what I'm saying? They'll talk about how to feel about it at home with their wife or their chick or something. You know what I'm saying? But ultimately, they got to play it out. So we talking about things as fans. You know what I'm saying? Not as how the players are gonna go about it and do it.
Yeah.
But so it's all perspective. But it's just like they ain't gonna say it. But it's like my thing is we lose the same way. Far too much for my liking.
Yeah.
And I have to attend that to Jizzle. Can we talk about it? Can we talk, man? I try to tell people, bro.
Yo.
He ain't better than Shanahan in any way, shape, or form. I've never even meant it in that facet or capacity. But people do not understand how much McDaniels was responsible for.
As far as the running game, I agree. As far as the running game, I agree. It just like when we was texting each other last night, I was just more concerned, like, yo, where's the credit regarding Kyle Shanahan by seeing the potential in this guy? Because, yo, I got quotes from Mike McDaniels regarding his appreciation from Kyle Shanahan.
He taught him everything. He's the only reason.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yo, man, I'm more concerned about, like, yo, man, are we with Kyle or not? You feel what I'm saying? Like me.
My name is Shannon Press, so I'm always with Kyle.
I feel you, bro. The thing is, I'm like, yo, I believe we're gonna get better, guys. I believe we're gonna get better. It's just that how we're gonna get better.
Because Shanahan has to do better. He has to go about things differently than he has been.
So with that said, do we believe he will be better? That's why I asked the question earlier. Do Kyle has the leverage of being a play calling, or do Jimmy G has more leverage of leading that play calling? And I know I answered that already, but that's the only thing that matters this coming up Monday Night Football. Another national televised game. Because, yo, we can't go down 1-3. Not at all, yo. Not at all. And again, like I mentioned to you guys yesterday, we win tomorrow, we back in first place. This game right here, Monday night, is going to be personal. Personal, yo.
No, it's offense. We ain't got no questions about this defense.
That's my hope. That's what I said last Thursday when we was on the faithful boys. I'm only concerned about the offense.
But here's the issue. Here's the issue. In all these games that we're talking about, there are going to be games where this defense gives in the 20s, maybe even the 30s, maybe even the 30s. So this offense that Shanahan is putting out in these field is made for like low scoring, not high scoring games. What happens when you got to play those teams where you got to put points on the board? This team can't consistently put up 2 touchdowns right now. We can't for a game. You know what I'm saying? How are we gonna score in the 20s? How are we gonna score those games? Those type of things. It's like it's got to change.
Yeah, I like this. I feel you, Brad. I like this by Chris. Appreciate your comment, Chris. Chris says Jimmy has the leverage until Kyle says you do that again, I bench you, which takes money away from Jimmy and those incentives. Hey.
Yeah.
Hey.
It's I don't know, man. I don't know
either.
I'm tired of losing the same way, whether it's Jimmy, whether it's the play calling, whether it's both of them together. You know what I'm saying? We are losing games with the best defense in the NFL right now. We are losing games with statistically the best defense in the NFL right now. Like there is no excuses.
I will tell you this, guys. And I'll just talk about the offense like I will always have, because I want to see dominance from our offense. I want, like I said last Thursday, I want defense to be scared of our offense. Like, yo, real talk. In that second half, the Broncos defense, they didn't play scared. It's like they knew what we was going to do, or they dared us to do what we want to do. You follow what I'm saying? And I'm like,
every team play us like that now.
Huh?
Don't every team play us like that now?
I mean, it's going to be 3 games, but I mean, if
go back to the playoffs, we talking about the same team. We talking about the same for the most part.
We got more weapons now, but I feel what you're saying.
But that don't help the argument. That don't help the argument as far as we do have a better team on both sides of the ball.
And again, and I could throw at y'all like, yo, why Danny Gray ain't out there? So this is my thing. I mean, there's reasons why they got certain players out there.
It don't matter no more.
What you mean it don't matter no more? What don't matter?
It don't matter his reasons. His reasons aren't. His reasons aren't working in the big time games, and his reasons. This is all assuming for people that are saying, Jimmy, of course, we understand to the maximum what Jimmy's limitations are. We know what Jimmy can and cannot do. You know what I'm saying? We know what Kyle's going to call, what he can and will not call. We know he will not, for the life of him, use shovel passes or dump off passes to get his quarterback out of trouble. If the line's collapsing, because it's not going anywhere. We just had it. We just lost Trent Williams, bro. Do you know what's going to be coming at us? Yeah. They bring in linebackers, they bring in safeties, they bring in corners. Like everything is a free for all. If Shanahan does not change the way he calls these football games with, like what Unc was saying earlier, the reality of who is on this field, play in and play out, that's what it's got to be, bro. That's when we don't have no more choice. Okay, I'm back. I was just using you, bro.
We just met you, Uncle Keith. You hear us, Uncle Keith? How you keeping out, man?
We safe.
Good. Good.
Yeah, we still on the same. We still on the same. We are more common ground.
Like, man, freestyling, man. You know how we do.
It is both. 100%. 100%. And it's more Jimmy than Kyle because Jimmy is out there. Hell yeah, that's facts. That's facts too. You know what I'm saying? But here's the reality is it is time for Kyle Shanahan to stop putting this offense in situations where Jimmy Garoppolo has to make plays because we know it can't happen. And you know why we're always in this situation is just because that's how Shanahan calls the game. Quit calling the game like you don't want to be put in situations where Jimmy has to win it, and we won't continuously be in situations where Jimmy has to win it. Like it's plain to see. Like we've watched it.
What you just said, yo, that what you just said right then and there, that's what concerns me right there. Now, I'm not saying you, but some of our fan base, are saying like, yo, Kyle Shanahan should just let him do his thing. So when you say that, that sounds like to me what you just said, that Kyle Shanahan should just play Jimmy within his skill set. Is that crippling, or is that crippling him, or is that allow him to outburst?
Do you think that he's playing Jimmy to his skill set? Because I don't.
I think he is.
I don't.
I think he is.
Jimmy,
I'm talking about real quick. Okay, my bad. I think it's this past Sunday night game, not at the game I was at on Sunday against Seattle, but this past Sunday, I think he played within his skill set within that second half.
But
yes.
So you're saying you're saying the situations where Jimmy's done well, that he's playing in Trey's system. Let's use that analogy, right? That's what you're saying. Okay, so let's use that. Let's use it. Because is that not what he did in 2017 when he came in, like we were talking about earlier, and won those 5 games?
I agree.
He's being used wrong then. If he's being used wrong.
Well, no, not necessarily. Because no. Reason why, because Jimmy G didn't know the book yet. He just got there. He did not know the book.
No,
so you will let a quarterback. Hold up, Brad. You will allow a quarterback to play freely when you don't know the playbook. He only been there for 7 games, and he started 5.
Facts.
7 games, and he started 5. So he doesn't know the playbook. So you can't use that.
I'm not saying that. You're right. You're absolutely
okay. All right.
But that's not how I was intending it to. That's not how I was intending it to come across and be used, because I was comparing that situation to what we saw when he came in last week in Seattle, and it was the same situation. Right. Because what we have to realize is that until Jimmy signed that contract, he did not have the playbook. So Jimmy still doesn't know the playbooks. If there's variations to the plays, there has to be variations to the playbook. It can't be the same playbook if it's Trey's playbook. You know what I'm saying? So there are different plays. There's different terminology that he may not know. I'm not giving him excuse, because the systems are going to be similar, just a little bit different depending on what play, or even a lot different.
Check this out, Prez and P Word. Let's just say, being that Jimmy's our guy now, right? Okay. Sometimes, guys, as a head coach, you're looking at the defense, what they're giving you. When you're looking at the defense, what they're giving you, Kyle Shanahan is going to call a play that's not Jimmy G's skill set. Yo, sometimes you got to be like, you know what? Forget your skill set. Look what the defense is giving us. I'm going to call a play that's outside your skill set to punish the defense based on what they're giving.
Can you see me?
So we got to remember that too, guys.
And we do. And what happens when he does else? What happens when he does that, Mark? Does Jimmy deliver? What happens when he does that? When Shanahan does exactly what you said.
Sometimes
deliver. But most of the time he doesn't, correct?
That's correct.
Why does Shanahan keep putting him in situations to not deliver?
I just answer that because he sees what the defense is giving.
But it doesn't matter if your quarterback can't deliver it. But because that's the reason the defense is giving it to him.
I agree.
He's not going to deliver on it. So as a defensive coordinator, I'm going to give you the plays I know you can't beat us with until you beat them with. So you scheme. Debo's not open because it's a broken play. Debo's open because they know chances are that Jimmy's not going to complete that pass. You scheme.
And that play, hold up. That play was designed for him to be open, bro. What you talking about?
Exactly.
Then why not throwing the ball?
Yeah.
Huh? Then why not throwing him the ball?
Because you know
it's not going to be open. You throw the ball to the open receiver. So why not throw him the ball?
He did throw him the ball, and
it didn't. Not when Debo was open. No, he didn't.
He threw a couple of them that didn't get completed. Yes, we're talking about the Debo, but in the game there were more throws with wide open receivers that he didn't. He didn't complete, and there's a few that he did complete. So what I'm saying is, overall, he's not hitting those plays.
I agree.
Well, that's why we got Trey in the first place, because he was not making those passes.
Exactly.
Right? So here's where the coach comes in. If your game plan is, as we say, schemed around Trey, and you don't have Trey, you need to change your game plan.
Uncle Keith, I agree with you, bro. I agree with you. However, how a coach look at a game, they look at the defense. They look at the defense.
Wrong. Absolutely wrong.
You
are wrong.
Please let me. Okay,
you're dead wrong, and you've been telling the same narrative for a couple of weeks now. I gotta stop you because I don't want to hear you go down the same rabbit hole.
No,
this is not about how a coach looks at a defense.
Yes, it is. Go ahead, bro.
Let me finish. I interrupt you on purpose. On purpose, because you've had a narrative that you've been running for 5 straight weeks when it comes to this defense and the coach. Let me explain something to you. Right. If it's not working, what do?
We're not talking about working, Uncle Keith. See,
yes, we are. The only reason we're having a conversation is to win a football game and to see what works and what ain't working. We've already seen what doesn't work. 10 points a game. Right or wrong?
Even if it's Jimmy every time, is what he said. Mark.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Exactly. So quit calling it. And that's what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's quit making excuses for execution if the play by design cannot be successfully completed. It's what Prez has been saying. It's what P. Warrior is saying. It's what I'm saying. Mark, you're absolutely right. Shanahan can be a genius with genius players, but he don't have that.
Right.
Right? Cool. Nothing. It's the fact. What we have going on right now. Jizzle!
What's good? What's good, y'all?
What's happening, bro?
You.
What's happening, bro?
It's rough getting on here, man. I've been grinding, getting these packs off. Y'all know how it is.
I know, man.
Bro, you had it rough? Man, I got 70-mile-an-hour winds outside.
I feel you on that, man. You need to move to Cali, though, man. Sunshine and, No.
I'll stay away from earthquakes.
Hey, we only have one every millennium, bro.
We ain't had a direct hit like this since 1921 in Florida. That actually is a millennium. That's 101 years.
Exactly.
But y'all get them all the time, though. Huh?
I said, here's to the millennium.
Yes, sir.
Yo, Pratt, my bad. Jizzle, what's going on, man?
I was listening, and what I feel, man, is Kyle Shanahan is coaching scary, man. It's like he's coaching, not to lose rather than to win. You know what I mean?
Boom.
Yo,
Chris Wall, you can't see me.
I've never denied that. I've said there's times he does aggressive plays, he does conservative plays. But
then this is the 6th year of his regime. There ain't no more excuses for why he can't get the offense going. You know what I mean? He didn't ran out of time on that. Like I wish I could make some excuses, but the time's up.
True. Yeah.
Chris Wall is right. If I understand correctly, President O'Keefe is saying, don't call it if your guy can't hit it. I totally agree with that, Chris. Thanks for using my name, Chris. I appreciate it. I need that edification.
Yes, sir.
P. Warren, let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
If you could change one play in the last game, which play would it be?
Well, I would definitely change. Them keep going to Debo in the backfield.
Yeah.
Because we know either they're gonna throw it to him, as soon as they pitch it to him and he try to get outside, he getting hit by 5 or 6 guys, which he gonna wind up getting him hurt.
Yeah.
So I would change that play for sure. Because it was good last year when you created it to to get the offense more juice, but everybody on it now, man. You got to change it up. You got you got to use Debo in the slot. You got to use him out wide. You got to get him the ball in space, but not in the backfield. You're trying to get the ball to him, but you can't do it that way because the defense is sitting on it now. So if you can get the ball to him in other ways outside of him being in the backfield, I think that bring your offense to another level. But then, man, come on. Ayuk ready to destroy people out there. You know what I mean? It's just like
I was hoping you was gonna get there.
Yeah, it's like, I think I said it. Jimmy gonna go to what he trusts, Debo and Kittle, but you can trust Ayuk. You can trust Jennings. So if Debo and them ain't open, throw it to the people that's open, bro. If they open, if Ayuk open, throw on the ball. If Jennings open, throw on the ball. If a running back open, throw the ball to the running back. It ain't hard, It's like, I don't know, man. I told y'all I couldn't rewatch the game because I was frustrated because they shouldn't have lost this game, and they had this game won, bro. I can't watch it, man. I just can't. Especially the end part. I heard enough of it to know I don't need to watch it. So
Jizzle, how we win? What is it going to take for us to win next Monday night, Jizzle?
I don't know, bro.
I think it's just we're gonna have to find a way to establish the run game, man. Like you got to get the solid run game going because Jimmy could play good off that run game. Basically, if you get that run game going, then everything will fall into place. And I just don't know if it's going to be with Mason or if Wilson could pick it up and maybe not fumble at the end, in a close game that cost us. Whatever it's going to be, and we got the odds against us with Trent Williams being out and line's not playing as good, but we've done it before with this. Last time we played the Rams, the first time we didn't have Trent Williams and we won that game, knocked it out. So we pulled it together before, rallied the troops. So I think we can do it again. It's just if we don't get the run game going, it's not going to happen though.
Okay. Do we all agree? I'm just asking, guys. When I hear run game, do we all agree it starts with the offensive line? Right?
You got to start with the line.
Yeah.
Want to have a run game without that offensive line doing their job, creating those lanes. I don't care who you got in the backfield. I don't care how fast they are. I don't care how swift they are. If they don't have no lanes to run through, we're not going to have a good running game at all.
Let me say this. Now, if they can take what they did on the touchdown drive in the Denver game when Wilson had the nice run and they were, if they can do that in the game against the Rams, they will win the game. But it's the consistency or lack of it that is why they not being able to do what they do. We see that the potential is there because you ran the ball. It was on a run when he got the 38, 40 yards. Man, that was perfect execution blocking. The hole was there. He hit it. Bam, it was there. And then even prior to that, he was getting good yards, tough yards. The line was making some, was creating some holes for him. So, if they go back and they look at the tape and they see what they did in that drive, but it's got to be consistent. And in this game, Shanahan got to at least run it 40 times because you can't put Jimmy back there throwing it 20, 25 times against their pass rush without Trent Williams. Man, McKivitz and them ain't going to stand a chance out there. So, we know what it's gonna be. It's gonna be ground and pound, defense and special teams, and they're gonna need turnover. Jimmy Ward got 2. Well, shit, we might need Hufanga to get 2. We're gonna need somebody to make a play defensively as well, and to help them. It's gonna take a full team effort out there.
I tell y'all what's been missing is the play action game, and that's because we haven't got the run. We haven't got the run game started enough for them to respect it enough for the play action to work.
Thank you, Jizzle. That's what I've been reading all week. Maybe we should switch it up and start passing first to start up the running game. Because happening, that's what I was saying earlier in the show. I was saying first down, second down, we've been running. In that third down, we've been passing in the second half to the point we wasn't executing.
I agree with you there, but the only thing is if you come out like that and then you get an incompletion or you get a sack, then you in second and long, and then that's just kind of going against what you want to do. See, to me, you got to still try to come and establish it, and if you can establish it enough, when you have the chances, like Jiz was saying, you take your shots off the play action if you can establish it, because we know Jimmy can hit those passes.
Yeah.
So the offensive line got to come to the party. It's going to be interesting to see, and I ain't watched, what did they, Wednesday? I ain't watched none of the press conferences or nothing. So it'll be interesting with Chris Forrester, the offensive line coach, when he be on there tomorrow. Yeah. But his presser going to be talking about, because he's going to get asked, do y'all think y'all going to be able to hold up against Aaron Donald and them boys? So It's and we know what the challenge is. They know what it is. Nah, you know, like I don't know. They just got to do something better than what they doing.
We know they ain't gonna hold up, and we shouldn't expect them to. And Kyle Shanahan damn sure can't expect them to. So you have to make a game plan around the fact of being able to quickly get that ball off, and you have to start. You have a Marlon Mack, like you have to start utilizing the halfback pass. Like we are at a situation where it's just like I don't.
Do with that.
You want to
some blitz?
You want to read that out loud, bro?
And Chris Wallace said, I don't know if it's more Jimmy or Kyle, but they need to get better at replacing blitz with ball, as my coaches used to say. Hot reads need to be ready now.
Yeah.
And when you say a hot read, excuse my ignorance, what does that mean?
It's basically the guy that's your first read on the progression, basically. You're going hot to him. Yeah.
Right.
Like going to him no matter what?
No, not necessarily, but that's your first person that the ball's coming out hot if he's open. You're looking for him first in your progression.
Well, that's Jimmy's biggest problem. That's Jimmy's biggest problem right there. What? That he does that. Jimmy will typically always go, and to the point that's why I don't think Jimmy in this offense has ever even been able to extend his vision more past the immediate.
That's true.
It's not in his overall game. Like Jimmy, I can tell you right now that Jimmy's game plan is not these diagonal passes, in space. It's not what he does well. Like we see it like that. And it's I get it. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like it's always been there with Jimmy. He's always missed it in the biggest moments, in regular games, in big time moments. Like he's always missed that wide open receiver in space because it's not a throw he's comfortable with. And we watched him look off Debo. And not when he was open. We know as fans, when we watched how open Debo was at the end of that play, we know that when Jimmy did look that way and glanced him off, an anticipation throw has him wide open in space. Jimmy was not comfortable throwing that ball to him wide open in space.
I agree. Yo, let me. I just reminded myself about this. The first half, the Broncos, they didn't have that many players on the inside. They wasn't in the box that much on the inside. There was more in the backfield. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah, they made
that's why first down, second down, we did a lot of running in the first half. The second half, they had more players in the box in the second half. That's another reason why our offensive line can't run block. I don't know if y'all remember the first half, they was playing deep. However, the scheme was so nice. Ayuk was getting catches in the first half. That's why in the second half, he was getting shut down. For what I read, Ayuk was getting shut down to the point, he wasn't getting no targets.
I mean, that's a big time defense.
I don't think he was getting shut down. If you could look at the
no, real talk.
No, but I'm saying no. But if you could look at the all 22 film, and it shows the whole screen, the whole field. Yeah. I bet you he was getting open a couple of those times, and Jimmy just didn't pull the trigger.
Yeah. But when I read, they were saying, my bad, Prez. They were saying that he was getting shut down. That's what I was reading. I was
it is nice. It is nice to see Jimmy look as much as way as he did in that game. And in Seattle to Ayuk. I put that more so that I think he's the hot, what we were talking about. He's the hot on those plays where we get I think that's the difference. I don't think Jimmy, and I'm my bad for not knowing the terminology. I don't think that Jimmy looks further than his number one. Period. Like whoever it is. And so now that Ayuk's worked his way up to be number one in plays when it's not Debo. And so I think that's when he looks at him. It's like, because it's like the other plays, he doesn't look at him. He doesn't look at him. And we know when things roll down time and time again, Jimmy throws that same pick over the middle of the field that the linebacker intercepts. You know what I'm saying? Like he don't even look that way and he throws it. So it's just like, I don't know. I don't think he processes the field very well.
Yo,
No.
Ayuk only had 3 receptions. 3.
That's horrible.
That's my point, guys. 3.
But that's on Shanahan. You gotta. If Jimmy's limited, here's what I'm saying. Here's what I'm saying, bro.
No, I feel you, bro.
If you know that Jimmy's not gonna scan and process the field, and he's typically going to go to the number 1 receiver that is played on that play call. If we know that Jimmy is just I'm going to take the play call that Shanahan makes, I don't make adjustments, and I play his out, and I look at the number 1 receiver, well, then figure out, put Ayuk in the number 1 receiver. Yeah, all of his production was from the first quarter, and those were plays that were scripted more than likely.
Exactly.
So then why Shanahan go away from it?
No. What it was. This is what I read. I'm going to tell you what. Let me tell you. Huh?
This is where you were saying that's where you were reading that he was getting locked up.
Right, but he was getting. This is what I read, guys. He was getting locked up, and he wasn't getting enough space.
Separation.
Separation. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
This is what I read. So I was like, okay. So I'm like, well, if the defense was doing their job, it's like, yo, and the offensive line can't protect Jimmy as much. It's like, yo, where can he go with the ball?
Kittle.
I agree.
But here's the thing, though. Like, if one of your receivers is getting caged, basically, you can manufacture plays. Like, why don't you run a couple slants, couple drag routes?
I agree.
Just get the ball in his hand in space and let the Yak Bros do their thing. You don't got to reinvent the wheel. That's
what Kittle and Ray come into play.
Right.
Even JJ.
On everything, cuz I don't want to see Ray out there. I want to see Danny Gray, cuz I want to see.
See, and that's what. Okay, let me remind you guys, and y'all probably know. I just gotta say this, guys, and I think I said in the text how Kyle Shanahan and his position coaches operate. They will not put a rookie over a veteran that knows the playbook, guy. I understand. I want Danny Gray too. They're paying Ray a lot of money. They're going to start this guy. You feel? I feel what you're saying. I feel what you're saying, Prez. But
okay, wait. Hold on. Last year we put Elijah Mitchell in, and he was the starter as many games as he played. He was a rookie, though. Like, so, I mean, that.
Right. Same thing with Hufanga. But what I'm saying, but I wasn't finished. I was also trying to say, when your performance as a rookie is better than a veteran, they're gonna put you out there.
Hey, but
real quick, that's why Womack has started the first 2 games. Then, like I've been saying, and Jizzle, you know what's up. I always been saying to you since we met, Lenore was best at nickel because he played more physical than Ambry. He wanted Ambry there, and I said no, Lenore needs to be at nickel. So now it flipped, and people was like, yo, why Womack is not there? Because at times, yo, during practice, it's about your performance. And if you outperform the veteran, bless you, bro. If you outperform a veteran or you outperform the rookie, you're gonna be out there. It's all about how you perform, yo. It's all about how you perform.
The only thing about that, sorry to interrupt you, never mind. But the only thing about that is Womack has from Pro Football Focus says he has a 99-point rating when he plays. Like, so what how's he getting benched though? Like, what has he did wrong? He didn't give up no big plays.
It's not during the game. It was during practice. Like, if you read it, real talk. I wish I could find it for you. Maybe later on tonight or tomorrow. It's during practice. They say word is born. They say he developed better, played better during practice than Womack. That's why I think if I'm please forgive me if I'm wrong. I think this past Sunday they had Lenore had 32 snaps against Womack 2. And still Womack was productive. If it wasn't for him regarding that
facts.
What was that?
On the field on the kick return where he stopped
something like that. Right. But it's not only Cal, it's also the position coaches too, guys. I understand we want Danny Gray. I understand we want Womack, but if you got another player that's outperforming you during practice, they're gonna start that person. Just like I said earlier, and I know Jizzle wasn't here, so that's what I'm going to say again. They really wanted Tevin Coleman to back up Wilson, but being they had sickle cell, they brought in Mason, but they only brought Mason for what?
One carry for 9 yards.
Exactly. Seven
one
yards.
Carry for 9 yards, bro. Matter of fact, Mason had more yards than Debo had in 5 carries, bro. So like that's showing you something that
offensive line.
Man,
that's what it was.
Man,
because the Broncos defense, they knew what they was doing.
Everybody's catching on to that Debo wide back stuff. Start running the jet sweep stuff. Get them back in space, like P Warrior said. Like you can't be doing the thing. It's almost like Shanahan's lost a little bit of creativity. He thought this was going to work forever, and he don't have a plan B.
Facts.
Right.
But we'll continuously run this play. Like it's crazy to me. It's crazy. It's like if he's running in third down. It'd be wild to me. Hey, honestly, man. Y'all watch football. Y'all play football your entire life, or different stuff. Watch football, bro. Y'all telling me that our offense doesn't look like a mediocre college offense?
No, you're right. I agree 100%.
That's 100%. Offensive coordinator. Then that goes on the offensive coordinator, whoever's playing the play calls, man.
I agree. But when you hear him at the presser, he always talks highly about the offensive line that they're developing, especially Banks and Burford. You feel what I'm saying? That's why I was saying last Thursday when we was on the Faithful Boys show. That's why I said that Brindle is the option guy to help out Banks to the left and help out Burford to the right.
Well, they're not doing bad. Overall, they're not great. They're not doing bad. But if we're being honest, as football savants that we are in our own individual ways, y'all telling me that how long they've played football in the NFL, this line overall, where they've played, what their position, where they were drafted, all this, they are not underperforming by any means.
I agree.
Any means.
Based on their experience, I agree. Yes.
Or just period. What we thought. I'm telling you right now, they are performing, in my opinion, and I was the one that was very heavily talking against this offensive line. They are performing much better than I thought that they would.
I agree. It's just that the situational downs.
But I called that. And anybody that that's coming. They are not going to ever be capable. There is no one on that field that is going to be capable of stopping Aaron Donald from getting off. Period. Like, that's not going to happen. So it's like, as a coach, you have to scheme how to take these away because it's coming. You know what I'm saying? With Jimmy's limitations, not being able to run, not being able to process, Kyle has to put it together. He's the genius. He's the one that's had all these years with him. You have to start calling football games in a manner that are going to keep you from having Jimmy to save you. Like, that's what it is. If we want to make the playoffs, that's where we are at.
Let me give you this situation, yo. And I know you know, but I'm just going to use this real quick. You're the head coach for the 49ers. I'm your offense line coach. Jizzle is the defensive line coach. It's our job to let you know these guys are ready.
Yeah.
That's our job.
Facts.
Yo, Cal can't do everything. He's the overseer.
Of course.
I'm using you as Cal. You the one has potential of seeing that potential in me and Jizzle to get these guys ready regarding our play scheme against the next team. So it's really on us positional coaches to get our players right. Just like I was saying before, it always comes back to executing the plays, yo, on the situational downs. And that second half, it was horrendous. It was horrendous, guys. It was horrendous.
Can you really go 1 for 10 and it be the quarterback?
You remember what I said earlier? He was 1 for 10, but 5 out of those he overthrew or underthrew. So We don't remember those 5.
That's what I'm saying.
Like we don't know what quarter.
Was he rushed? Did he have clean pockets? Were they?
That we don't. That we don't know.
So ultimately, we don't even know the stat itself or the intricacies or the circumstances that would lead to that. So it's like he definitely ducked some balls. There's 2 or 3 first downs I think I can remember that he should have completed, and it would have given us the first down.
But I would say this to answer your question: like, was he rushed? Those 5, what I read today, they were saying that those 5 misses he shouldn't have missed.
I believe it. I'm not doing.
Let's just say 6 out of that 11 or 5 out of that 10, he was rushed or hurt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, so
I believe it. Yeah. Definitely his worst healthy game as a Niner. I dead ass mean that. His worst healthy game as a Niner.
I got a question. What would y'all do? What would y'all do in terms of the offense different like this game, basically? Because for me, real quick, I would say we need to go east and west more than north and south. We need to like run a couple screens, whether it be receiver screens, running back screens, get the ball to the running back in the flats, attack with the outside zone, going east and west, because you don't want that line pinning their ears back going north and south to Jimmy Garoppolo. So that would be what I would do. But what would you guys do as far as changing up the offense to?
Well, I must let me jump in. I'm about to sign off.
Yeah.
But I think you gotta use all the players that's available to you. Man, I would agree with you, you gotta do some screens, you gotta do something, get the ball to use check, you gotta get the ball to Kittle, you gotta get the ball to Debo outside of what every defense is looking for. You gotta, man, you can't you hardly ever see him go to a bunch formations.
Right.
You gotta do something to get Ayuk off, because a lot of it is confidence. Ayuk got the confidence, man. He ready to break out. Yep. We know what Debo is. We know what Kittle is. We know Jennings gonna block the hell out of you and then catch passes too. And then offensively, come on, man. This is where y'all brought Mac in. If Kevin Coleman is up to speed, then play him. If you ain't got confidence in Mason, go with Wilson and Mac and Tevin Coleman as your 3.
Yeah.
If that's what you got confidence in, Kyle. So to me, you gotta do plays that you ain't got your offensive line blocking for a long time. It can't be no 7-step drops. It's got to be everything quick, get it out of Jimmy's hands, because you ain't got Trent Williams. And we know McGlinchey a liability. And then Aaron Donald gonna be playing outside on both of them because he want to get the one-on-one matchup. So whatever they do, they got to get it out quick, regardless of where they doing it at. So that's how I look at it. So look, y'all, love y'all. I'm signing off, boy. I'm sleepy. So God spare. If we do a show tomorrow, man, I'll send y'all the link. I'm gonna get with being good and see if we gonna do something tomorrow. And if we do, I'll send a link to everybody. Y'all just jump in and we'll get it in again. So love y'all, man, and I'll holler at y'all later.
No doubt, bro. Appreciate you, man.
All right.
Tell Ben Gill I said what up, man. All right.
Yes, sir. All right. Later.
Later, bro. Yeah, Jizzle, I agree with you. The thing is, who's the best player to use a screen for? Ben Elijah,
Marlon Mack. You got all your answers. Ben had a Mason. Like you're at a point where Shanahan. My bad, I cut you off on your question.
No. You good, bro? I ain't like that. No, I was just thinking about what you're saying. When I hear y'all say that, I think about Cal formula. His formula is not like that, bro.
It doesn't matter though.
No. I know it doesn't matter, but I'm telling you how Cal rolls. If you don't, no, hear me out. If you don't know his playbook, he's not gonna play you or start you. So that's why I was asking the question, like, who would y'all like to see it as a screen? So we already know Elijah is like one of the best, performers to have on the screen.
I would like Debo. Debo would be my number one guy. The receiver screen out the slot, or you know what I mean, and just let him get him in space and do more jet sweeps too. You know, that's East and West.
And there was plays that IU was used like that too.
I would like to see formations of Mason and Danny Gray in the backfield. I would like to see our wide receivers coming out of the backfield. There are enough of them that aren't the big time wide receivers. Ray McLeod, Danny Gray. I would like to see things that you do not see. I would get these dudes like the ball east and west, like Jizzle was saying. Get your players the ball in space, because he does not have the option of pretending that this team's line is going to hold up when it matters. It didn't happen in the fourth quarter here, and it's not going to happen. We can hope that it gets better. We can hope it gets to a point where it's like, damn, y'all are giving us more time than we thought you would be able to. But that ain't happening in these next few weeks, and that shit ain't happening until hopefully by the time you're still in the hunt for the playoffs, man. Like real shit, bro.
Yo, where our brother Shifty. Yo, appreciate you, Shifty.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yo, no. I agree. That's why when I seen it, I posted up on the screen. Yo, I agree with all of this. However, we're not going to get all of this. We may get Ray, Kittle, and Ayuk. Danny Gray maybe later when he develops, the playbook. I agree with Ray, Kittle, and Ayuk. I agree with that, hands down. I would love to see that. I can see that, but the question is, when will we see it though? And normally that goes back to what I was saying before, whether y'all agree with me or not. Normally, those screens that Jizzle was talking about is based on what the defense is giving us.
You know that defense is pitting their tails and coming back at you. They ain't got no reason. There is no threat of our team dumping that ball off to a halfback on any of their rushes. There's no footage of it. There's no tape of it. It's something we don't do. So there's no defense that even.
But
how are you so egotistical? Because this is what it has to be. Shanahan's my dude, and this is why I'm talking like this, because I really love Shanahan. I appreciate Shanahan. I know how great he is. I know how he can't replace himself. But to continuously now, all these years after what we've watched and what we've watched with this quarterback and what we've watched these 3 games of the season, it's like, bro, your offense is losing because you refuse to get out of your own way.
I get it.
You got to change something up with Jimmy G. You got to change something up. You can't run the Trey Lance offense or whatever you thought you were going to get into eventually, because Trey Lance got hurt before we really got to see the whole picture. But whatever you were going to envision or had envisioned of being this year, scrap that. Even scrap last year's playbook to a certain extent, and I would go back to using Jimmy kind of like we were using him in 2017. Maybe, tailor down the playbook, whatever you can try to do to recreate some of that magic. You know what I mean? Even some of the 2019 magic.
But Jizzle,
run more shotgun. He's more comfortable in shotgun. Speed up the offense. He's very good in the hurry up offense. You got to do something that, you know what I mean, that tailors to his strengths. You're not using Jimmy Garoppolo to his strengths.
Now, you know what you just said, Jizzle? When we met last year, bro, we always said we wanted that Jimmy G, and I agree with you, bro. Now let me pinpoint 2 out of the 3 that you just mentioned, bro. And I agree with 2 out of the 3, and I'm about to mention them. I like Jimmy G in the shotgun. I don't have a problem with Jimmy G in the shotgun, and I don't mind him with the fast passes going to the slant. I don't have a problem with that. But you can't do that. You can't do that all the time.
No.
The third thing is, you know what it is? The third thing, the secondary, they don't look at Jimmy G as a threat. And you know that, Jizzle. They don't look at Jimmy G as a threat as a secondary. And the thing is, Jimmy G has to be better running the ball, throwing it. Like what we seen back in 17, when he used to run, he used to be mobile and throw it. Like now, he's not accurate when he run and throw the ball. When I was at the 49ers Seattle game, yo, he overthrew Ray running to the right. I'm like, yo, what are you doing? He's right there. Yo, that's what he need to improve on. Those two things.
He can't improve at this stage. But you know what? No, if I was a coach, I would have mandatory deep shots from Jimmy Garoppolo because you have to do it for the defense to respect that it could happen. You know, I have a mandatory, even if you don't get the completion, it has to happen. So the defense be like, okay, at least he's taking those shots. We can't just like load up the box and play the way they've been playing.
And if these dudes are getting open, like he consistently misses them open in space, that typically means that they're open early. This play should now be, if it's a 4 or 5 step drop and then Jimmy throws it up, it now needs to be a 1 or 2 or 3 step drop and Jimmy throws it up. If you can't complete it long, adjust your play call to where your quarterback quickly delivers that ball because there's space there and they know it's going to be there. Yes. And have Jimmy make a 20 to 25 yard throw as opposed to a 30, 35, 40 yard throw. And he's going to be a lot more accurate because at that point, Trey is good at hitting these wide receivers right at the point that they're open at the end of the play on a deep shot. Jimmy is never going to be able to do that. Jimmy is not going to be able to consistently throw to these dudes wide open once they're at the point where they're crossing the defense to be open. You know what I'm saying? So Jimmy, therefore, we need to design plays where Jimmy is throwing the ball before we ever even get to the point that you see that he's at the point where he's leaving the defender. Go ahead.
My bad. That goes back to what Jules said, and we both agree. Got to go back to play action.
Yeah.
Got to go back to play action, yo.
Yeah.
Is he calling play action? Is he calling play actions?
Huh?
Is he calling play actions?
No. I agree. I agree with you, bro.
But I think it's because we haven't got the run game going like it's been going last couple of years. You know, we've yet to really get it going. We know that. We know we've been watching this team forever. We know it ain't going so well right now. Like the run game ain't really killing it like that.
In fairness, the first 2 weeks conditions wouldn't allow most teams to though.
So for sure.
Last week was their first week. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I ain't here with the Jimmy excuses, but the fact is, take away how people feel about Jimmy. We're talking about anybody. He didn't have the playbook. He really didn't have the playbook. We know he didn't have the playbook, bro. He gets it, and he has to learn it, and he ain't in game shape. I'm not saying that those are excuses, but I'm saying that is the reality of the situation as far as his play calling. Like or what was being play called, because there's only a few amount of plays that Jimmy may have known. I don't know what it was, but either way, it's like Shanahan again calling limited plays based on how he feels. It's like you have to open it up, period. Like you have to open up the playbook, period. He doesn't allow it to get opened up other than the same plays. Like it's not hard to decipher what this team does. Like
it's not. That's not the reason, bro. You can't. I hear what you're saying. I respect it. But as a professional, which Jimmy is, you can't use that excuse for him not having a playbook.
I'm not saying for him. I'm not saying him. I'm saying how Shanahan, if he didn't have the playbook, Shanahan is calling it in a capacity where Jimmy doesn't have the playbook. Like, he doesn't know it. I'm not saying that's an excuse for Jimmy Garoppolo. I'm saying, is Shanahan opening up a playbook for Jimmy if he doesn't have it? He doesn't open it up when he knows he has the playbook. So Shanahan calls it conservative game.
I think Jimmy knows the playbook by now, though. Like that's the only thing. Yeah.
That was never the problem.
The terminology has to be different. It can't be Jimmy's playbook that he left with. It cannot be the one that they had with Trey Lance and they learned. There has to be differences.
It looks the same. It looks the same on the field to me. I don't know, bro, but it looks the same.
I could be wrong. I'm not saying this about Jimmy. I'm saying this about if that is the case. And there are differences in the playbook, or however, Shanahan's not calling anything non-conservative. At any point were we not conservative in that play in last week's game?
Yeah. I told you that. Yeah, the second half. Yes.
The first, but even past the first drive. Maybe, I mean, we could have had 2 or 3 drives right after, but after the very first drive, it became the same vanilla thing over and over and over again.
Hey, Prez, I know I shared this earlier with you, P Warrior, and Uncle Keith. Jizzle, being that we was at the game, bro.
Yeah.
When Jimmy G took over, you know he was playing Trey Lance playbook. You know that, right?
Oh yeah, we know that. He liked it, Trey Lance. He said he liked that, but
check this out. Yo, in the first half, Jimmy G threw for 11.3 air yards per attempt in the first half. That was Trey Lance playbook, which means he was number 1. Jimmy G, he was number 1 in the NFL in the first half. I don't know what happened in the second half. And I agree with Prez because he asked me, he's like, well, what happened in the second half? And I'm about to tell you the stats for the second half. The second half, Jimmy G was 5.0 air yards attempt. And he was number 30 in the NFL. I don't know what happened from him being number 1 in the first half by going down the field to the second half. You feel what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, you feel what I mean? I'm like, yo, what happened? You feel what I'm saying?
I did notice it was Trey Lance's playbook though, because he was in a pistol a lot, and it was working. So whether they need to do more of that, do something. I just feel like Jimmy G, his best plays come out of the shotgun or the pistol, the same thing. Yeah. And we got to get something going in regards to that. He's not an under center guy. He likes to have that extra couple seconds to analyze the defense before he gets the snap.
And it's obvious he needs it.
Honestly, I partially disagree with you, Jill. I think he's better on the center only during slant passes. You got
maybe.
He got to zip it. You feel what I'm saying? So that's why I like when he's under center. That's what I like about Jimmy, because he can zip it. He can zip it. You feel what I'm saying? Only problem I had with him this past Sunday, and I don't know if y'all see my text. Remember when he ran for that first down, but they called it back because McGlinchey got caught holding? I was like, yo, where was this throughout the whole damn game? This is what he needs to show the linebackers on defense in the secondary, that he's a threat with his legs. Listen, I like Jimmy G as a quarterback sneak. He has a great quick release. He's a great leader vocally, but he can do it. It's just that I don't know what it is, like what's holding him back mentally. You feel what I'm saying? I don't know. I really don't know. I really don't know.
I mean, he doesn't deliver. There's those
he just don't deliver. Yeah.
Game in and game out that he just doesn't make. Like, and it's just like, damn. But then there's some games, he has those like, damn, I didn't expect him to complete that or put that ball there. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how you would call it. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
if you think about it, that play hurt us. When he ran for that first down on third down.
You talking about Russell?
No. I'm talking about Jimmy G. When he ran for that first
down. That was one of our only third down completions. That was our only third down completion, I think it was.
That was that 1 for 11, yo. And I was like,
that's facts. Yeah,
that McGlinchey holding, that crippled us right there. And that pass he threw to JJ on the sidelines, but he couldn't contain that pass on the sidelines. Yeah, that hurt us too. That was another good pass. So there are some times when he throws good passes, and there's some times like, yo, you gotta hit that target.
Oh no, facts. Far too many.
But guys, we're approaching 2 hours and 30 minutes. I know I could keep on going, but respectfully of y'all time, Jizzle, I know you had a long day at work. Prez, I love you, bro.
Love you too.
Yo, man, I think we're gonna overcome this situation, man. Again, I know the frustrations is high regarding our fan base. we all see the same game, but we all want something totally different, or we all want the same thing. However, the common denominator, real talk, guys, I know y'all know we all want to win. We all want to win by any means necessary. We all want to win, and I believe that I believe that we can get it done. I don't know if y'all seen my text yesterday. I think if we can go into our bye week 6-2 or 5-3, I think we'll be in good shape for our second half of the NFL. That's just me, man. I think we'll be all right. I hope so, man, because
we have the ability, and you have all the plays there, and it's going to involve Jimmy playing incrementally better than what we just saw.
He's got to play way better, to be honest with you. That's why I was never a fan of when a lot of people were like, "Oh, now Jimmy's in. We're going to go right back to." I think we lost something when we lost Trey Lance, and we didn't get the chance to see Trey Lance enough to say, Jimmy's an upgrade. And I just don't believe. I will never believe he's an upgrade.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, he's definitely an upgrade. Trey's definitely.
Well, he's an upgrade regarding having over than Suffield.
Oh no! I thought we were talking. I thought you said no, Trey. I thought it was whether the question was the other way.
Oh no, Trey's an upgrade to Jimmy, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I was like, yeah. No,
I know what Jimmy's going at. Yeah, but I mean, of course, we know it's unfortunate with Trey.
Yeah,
and it was a good business decision regarding Jimmy's side too, because, like, listen, real talk, man, if he has a really issue with Kyle, man, he wouldn't take less to come back, man. I don't believe in that. I know a lot of people was running with that narrative, but I ain't the one, man. I ain't the one to be, biting into that narrative, regarding discord between him and Kyle, man.
I think he came back because he didn't think he would have to play, to be honest with you.
Say it again, bro.
I think he came back because he didn't think he would have to play, and he could up his value by just sitting and holding the clipboard for 1 year. You know what I mean? Now he's got to play. I mean, I really think he only came back because he wasn't expecting to play. To be honest, that's my theory.
I feel you. Respectfully, I think he came back because he really likes this organization. He likes the players that's in the locker room. And I believe that he believes he can win with this team. That's what I believe, yo. You feel what I'm saying? And I think he knows the scheme. That goes back to what you said, Jizzle, that he knows the scheme, though, Prez. I remember you were saying earlier about the playbook. Yo, he knows the playbook, yo. Because when he got hurt in 2018, when he was rehabbing, he was with Mike Shanahan learning that playbook.
Yeah,
it's written in stone, bro. That's why I
was definitely wrong.
That's why when I hear people say, like, yes, he does know the playbook. He just got to implement it. Yeah, man. That's why I'll be feeling into that, man. But Faithful Huddle, man. It is what it is. We're gonna overcome this, man. We're gonna overcome this. Let me see. Real quick, let me post this up. Chris, we appreciate you, bro. Chris says, good stuff, guys. This Jimmy analysis might all be for naught if Jimmy goes down in the first quarter and Purdy comes in. Not hoping for it, just some irony, maybe. Yeah. Well, nah, I know I've seen people hollering from Purdy, but that's not going to happen. Yeah, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen again. I got to say this. I support Jimmy. I'm with Jimmy. I represent the 49ers. We represent the 49ers. I just know that Jimmy could do better, man, because I've seen it in 2017 and I've seen it in 2019. He can do it, man. You know what I'm saying? And I guess I'm one of those kind of guys that's a competitor to the point you really don't need that many people around you to motivate you to come out your shell. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I just think he can do it, yo. He's done it before. You feel what I'm saying? It's just that sometimes you got to push yourself, and sometimes your head coach, like you said, Prez, and your positional coach, that's why I said last Thursday on the Faithful Boys show, I think they did a great job by having Greasy be his quarterback coach. It's his responsibility to motivate Jimmy to do things that's outside his, you know what I mean? His comfort.
That's a good point. He could help Jimmy too.
Like, yo, Jimmy can do it, yo. Jimmy can do it. You just got to show Kyle Shanahan wrong. You feel what I'm saying? If you want Kyle to trust you, show him wrong. You feel what I'm saying? Because sometimes you got to help out the coach.
So that goes to what I was getting at, and we kind of went away, and I made the wrong thing about the playbook. What I was getting at is he ain't had the reps. Like, the chemistry is not there. Like, he ain't had the balls in practice. He ain't had the OTAs and everything like that. So that shit, that's going to happen. And like, there's no chemistry. So I shouldn't have said it because Jimmy always makes excuses 100%. But what he was saying in this particular instance, there was weight to what he was saying. It was just like, nah, bro, we don't want to hear this shit from you, type of shit. But it is that chemistry is not there. So that takes time, like, to develop. And so we got it. But it's like also it's where he's got it, like you were saying, what you were just saying now, Mark. Shanahan has to let him out. Like, it has to. You don't have options. Like, we don't have the options because you can't keep losing games. You know what I'm saying? We damn sure can't lose a division game. You know, to the Rams for damn sure, because F around in the season. I'm just saying, season's bad enough. You know what I'm saying? We might be in a situation where the only way we get in the playoffs is winning this division if the Rams struggle. So. Anyways, so that's where we at. And so that's how Shanahan has to coach. And like, ultimately, it's like, I would rather see us lose aggressively moving forward than this, because we're 1-2 because we haven't been aggressive. I'll give one because that weather, you know what I'm saying? Can't really blame Shanahan or anybody about that weather and the Bears, even though we talked about what it was. But even in that shit, we got outbeat. You got outcoached by the Bears coach, you know what I'm saying, in that monsoon type shit. You still got outcoached. However we want to look at it, because the nigga made plays. No, Justin Fields single-handedly went out there and made plays in that weather. You know what I'm
saying? Now, what you just said, what you just said, real quick, and I got to end the show real quick. I got things to do. What you just said, no, you good, bro. What you just said, just right in there, Justin Fields made great plays. But when you say the coach, nah, bro, Justin Fields bailed out the coach.
Well, we don't know that because he delivered on play. Oh, well, another breakdown. You're right.
He extended the play with his legs. And that's why, my humble opinion, I said the defense lost us that game, because in the third quarter in week 1, we had a momentum. Yes, the weather was bad, but it was bad for both teams. But I don't want to go back there. But that's why my position regarding the Bears loss, I was just saying that I think that the 49ers defense lost that game because we gave up 2 touchdowns while it was wide open. That's why I said, yes, guys, y'all know I'm a firm believer in the offense scoring points. But when you're leading 10-3, and you give up 2 touchdowns with no competition, they wide open. That can happen. Fact. That cannot happen.
That's true
at all. That's why I said the defense lost that game. But respect to you guys, yo. We're gonna end the show. To our faithful viewers, thank you for watching our show. We should have a show every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Again, Faithful Huddle. Appreciate y'all. Listen, y'all have a good night.
Yes, sir.
All right. All right. We'll holler.
Silence of the Lambs.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, y'all.
All right, dude.
Peace.